show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Lining up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed. Skipping out, no, I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, you take me higher. Ooh, you take me higher, baby. Take me higher. Ooh, you take me higher, baby. Take me higher. Ooh, you take me higher, baby. Take me higher. Yeah, you take me higher, baby.
Welcome to Radical Truth, the Power of Aggressive New Show with Let's Be S3. I am your host, Marlon, along with Diaz, along with Anna, along with Tracy. And today's show, we will do a continuation on systemic racism, breaking it down. This is the second part of a three-parter. And honestly, I don't even have any opening news, so I will go straight to, hey, Diaz, how you doing?
I am doing well, everybody. How y'all doing?
Tracy?
I'm doing great. I wish I could have taken a nap, but I could not.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I've been asleep all day.
Wish I could. I can't take naps.
I'll sleep for like 5 hours.
I can't take
And
naps.
then my sleep at night is affected. Then I can't. If I take a nap now, I'm not going to go to sleep later.
Yeah.
I will sleep so long. My wife sent one of the kids to come wake me up. I'm not going to be able to sleep later on tonight.
If I go to sleep, all I'm going to have is nightmares, do the whole nap, and then I'll be up all night, and then I'll be punching the pillow when the alarm go off. Will be the time to go to work.
And y'all know what next week is?
My brother's birthday.
Sunday.
Super Bowl.
No, it's my brother's birthday.
Yeah, thank you. Happy birthday to your brother. That's what matters.
Yeah.
Birthday to your
Thank you
brother.
very much. I will send. I got to see him and my nephew today, so I'm doing pretty good. Hey, Captain, and
hey, Parker.
I thought that you, Theus, were gonna say that your wife sent one of your children in to put like a mirror underneath you.
Oh, like they do in the Golden Girls. Yeah, it's like, is he breathing?
Is he okay? I like long naps too.
Long naps on Sunday are a bad idea. Usually based
Monday's
morning.
Yes, they do. That is true. Boy, that makes Mondays.
It does. Yes.
Yep, I'm looking for ideas, everybody. Somebody got to tell me what to do now. Football season gonna be over next week.
You could learn crocheting.
This is also the year of the Summer Olympics.
Oh yes, right. The Olympics. That'll be a good distraction.
She's going to be our correspondent, right?
That's right. Yep.
Once track and field is over, I'm pretty much done with those.
No, because I like them other sports like the gun shooting and the fast walking and the gymnastics where they got the
not diving,
basketball?
not swimming, Once track and field is over, that was my sport when I was.
Do you mean shot put, track and field, or 50-yard dash track and field?
The running.
Well, no, they do marathon running and they do 50-yard dash running.
No, I do the short ones, like the short track and field.
Oh, the 50-yard dash. Okay.
Where the ladies got them track and field vibes. And I like the pole vault thing because I think that's just mad cool. And the long jump is interesting, but I'll watch it for the ladies. But dudes, I could care less about your long jumping. Do whatever. And then the hurdles. No matter what, I like the hurdles. That's mad cool. Um, I can't get into shot put. It's just like whatever. And javelins, I don't get to that either.
That
I'm
seems
like, I don't
like
care
a
about
good
them.
sport.
Again,
Beach
you had
volleyball?
stuff that I know.
You said track and field. Shot put is
Right,
track and
okay,
field.
track and track.
You mean running? You mean the running part,
The running part.
and
track
not the
and-
marathon.
But I don't like the marathon runs.
No,
The
I'm-
marathon.
A bunch of anorexic people running around all day. I
What
don't
about
want
the
to see that.
triathlon?
Mhm.
I tried to watch it one time just to act like I was into it. I was like, man, I'm tired.
The bicycle racing is pretty cool though. I think that's pretty neat.
I get into, of course, it's the only time I watch professional basketball is the Olympics. That's like literally the only time that I'm like,
Parker,
they're professional.
By definition, they're not professional.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. That is not professional.
They are definitely professional.
In fact, I think it was wrong when they let the professional athletes compete in the Olympics. But anyway.
You know the USA voted against that, right? And the other countries was like, no, we want you all in there. We want you in there. And then got beat. And then like, well, we tried. Like, we told y'all.
They don't
We told y'all.
Like the best basketball players of each team to put together? No?
Well, see, that's just what's funny about it. It's morphed, right? It used to be like no one was paying attention to Olympics basketball.
Women's
so
basketball.
You put your best players out there, and they went out there and they played.
The women always went gold.
But then America decided we're going to do the Dream Team, and they put out the Jordan Squad and all them people. And at that point, it just, to me, it broke it because then the NBA players, our best NBA players, don't even want to play in the Olympics because it runs a risk of them getting hurt. But then the other countries who have players in the NBA, they put those players in for their country. So, like, old boy who played for the Dallas Nuggets will be playing for Czechoslovakia or something. So it's like it just kind of gets it kind of out of whack. I don't know.
USA was against putting in professional basketball, their professional basketball team.
I don't really. So not to slide too far off of topic already, but like I don't give USA much credit for anything whatsoever. Like they're the most. Our country is the least moral country on the planet.
I'm not saying they did
competition.
They said we're going to beat you. That's what they did.
Right. You know what I'm saying? It's like America will cheat, but they'll say they're not cheating because they wrote the rules. Right? Like, no, I don't think you should. I don't think you should let us be in there like that. But since you are.
Yeah, like you want to say, okay. But that's the only time I do not watch the NBA, but I will. This will be like the first time I haven't watched the NBA since Magic Johnson retired. And that's
I stopped when Kobe retired.
Magic Johnson retired a long time ago.
Yeah. But you know what would be cool? What would be cool is if this is what I want for all of them. This is why I hate professional sports anyway. But it would be mad cool if like all the African American players, they would just pick a country and they play for that. Like they play for Ghana and Tanzania and whatever. Just play for one of them countries and don't play for America. That would be so hilarious because America would just have like a squad. They wouldn't even have a squad because like all the white players in the NBA come from Eastern Europe, so they're gonna go play for their country, and then all the black ones just wouldn't play for America.
Olympic correspondent, since y'all don't let me do a draft day special.
I don't understand draft day no way. Too close to slavery. I don't like it.
Yeah,
no, that's the combine. I don't like the combine.
Yeah, you talk about the combine.
I haven't watched the combine in 2 years now. But anyway, that's our 10 minutes. Let's get this party started. Oh, and Tracy, don't say, oh, yeah, I literally just came up with that rule just now. I'm looking at the clock going, okay, let's go ahead and do our 10 minutes of absolutely nothing whatsoever. All right, here we go. Let's go. Again, let's go ahead and get into re-entering systemic racism. We have started on the categories of they break it down the categories of systemic racism. The last one that we did was healthcare. So let's go ahead and jump into the next one, which is education.
The education system has hurt people of color more than others. Students of color generally have less educational opportunities. They generally do worse on standardized tests. They are less likely to graduate from high school or go to college. When they do go to college, the colleges are lower quality. Black college students owe around $7,000 more in student loan debt than white college students. Students of color have less access to advanced classes. There is evidence that non-black teachers set lower expectations for black students. They are 54% less likely than white students to get recommended for gifted classes. Schools are highly segregated by skin color. Most schools where the majority are students of color are in the inner cities and slums. Because most public schools are funded primarily through property taxes, schools where the majority are students of color are often underfunded compared to majority white schools.
So I really have nothing to really add to that. It's really a subject that we've already talked about on this show in great lengths. Underfunded school, overcrowded schools was something that he didn't say. Being bused far further than your white counterparts. I can't stress enough about the underfunding. I mean, I really, really, really can't. I mean, first of all, we're already talking about a school system in a whole that's underfunded. Teachers are being paid. It is literally, and I'm pretty sure that I'll get caught off by Theos or somebody by saying this. I can't think of an employee where you have to provide your equipment because you ran out. And it's for doing your job. Now, I remember it used to be like that. Don't get me wrong, but they stopped doing it a long time ago. I remember we had to buy uniforms for fast food and everything, and then they'll give us the money back and stuff like that, just to make sure you were serious. But, teachers in the United States are the only ones that literally have to be the ones who have to practically fund their classrooms. That's on its face. But what we're talking about are black schools where the teachers can't. They literally can't even do that. They don't have the funds school-wise, let alone in their personal income to fund it. So kids go further and further back into education. Now, my next tangent is always going to be that we're already trying to erase Black history as it possibly is, but that's another topic for another day. Theos, go ahead.
No, good. No, so hit some of the obvious ones, right? So long as school funding is tied to local property taxes, you will always have this disparity. Everything is tied together. So if you sit there and you look at home ownership rates, which has actually declined for the Black community because we were on our best increase up until the 2008 crisis. And then coming out of that, we were the worst hit coming out of that crisis. So Black home ownership has stalled, if not fallen off the map. So that means we're in more apartments. Well, when you move into an apartment, that means you do not have the same property tax structure as you would for a bunch of subdivisions full of homeowners, right? Then, as Tracy touched on in the last discussion, you have the situation where it's no longer quote unquote redlining, but it is still the exact same thing from a de facto standpoint, right? So there's two different things. There's de jure and there's de facto. Redlining was de jure. That was rules that were set in place that said these people, we don't give them loans, and if we do give them loans, then their property would never be valued very much. And boom, that's de jure. De facto is when you don't have a law that says it, but the custom or the rules have been set in place at a societal level, so that just because this is in a quote unquote black community, then those values can't be very high. So that is the society putting that in there. So you still have that going on. That's why when Tracy was talking about you trying to sell your house and you got to remove anything that could imply that you're black, that a black person lives here, got to be stripped out that house. And in fact, if you were in an interracial relationship, make sure the black member of that relationship ain't there, or you go get your white friend to come and show your house for you. Okay, so that is the jure, right? Systemic racism and discrimination, right? Well, that feeds into this education piece because that means you're not getting the property taxes there. And what I was talking about with the apartments, those are business taxes. What do businesses do? They reduce their taxes or avoid their taxes. So that means that they're not consistently paying the taxes into the county the same way you or I will because it's tied into our escrow. So once again, you have that funding crunch that happens. Then you have the Title I situations that are disproportionately put on Black and poor communities. Now the money is coming in from the federal government, but it's going into random programs and things like that, not actually funding the school itself. So you have disparate impact there as well. It's a huge thing, and if people really want to look at it, it's humbling and it's challenging. But what I want to say coming out of this, while I'm talking fast, what I want to say out of this is, yes, that is the situation, but there are things that we can do to change the impact or the way it impacts the students in the meantime. And that can mean volunteering at the school. That can mean running programs like we did with Complex Mind, where we help support different aspects of the school. That can be going off the books, helping individual teachers, which, and the reason I say off the books is because there are rules in place, folks, that teachers can't even take help from you. Okay? So I tried to run a program at one point where it was like, hey, we're just going to sponsor a class, right? Once a month, we'll do a pizza party, or once a quarter, we'll do a pizza party. Here's an extra $50 every single month. Whatever you need to do for your classroom, you do it, right? That type of thing. And I was told, can't do it. They would rather teachers have to run fundraisers and beg people for money than have anyone support anybody. So it's wild. And then this is an aside, but when I drive to work, I drive from my side of town to the other side of town. Well, as I'm driving to work, there's this huge compound that they have built just off the interstate of 285. It is massive. I didn't know what it was. They just recently finished it. It's a public school, folks. But guess where it sits? It sits in the community where Halle Berry used to live. This is a public school, but you can't afford to live there. So it might as well be private. It's man. All right, I'm done.
Anna?
Really, what I would have said been covered. I can only add a little bit of my story here, and this is a story of privilege. That when my family was looking around for where were we going to live, I was very young. My brother was about to be going, I think in the second grade, but we got to choose a top 10 school system. We had the absolute privilege of choosing. We want to go to this place on Long Island, New York, because of the schools. And the experience that I had, like, I don't hear other people talking about getting to go see Broadway shows. I don't get to hear about astronauts coming to classrooms. I had an extremely privileged education, and that was only because my parents were looking for it and they could afford the place. So it's extremely unequal, and wish something about that would change. Hey, how about no more private schools?
Well, see, that's sorry. Thank you, Anna. So I would say so. The problem to me isn't private schools per se. Um, you make sufficient money or whatever situation is, and you want to afford your children certain luxuries off of what you've done. So I mean, like wealth in and of itself to me is not a bad thing. It's a tool. But how are you using that tool? Like some of the things you just shared, those are some of my experiences because in some of the schools I've gone to over the years, we had that, right? And it was just normal. We used to go when I was in Virginia, we would go to the JFK, whatever center, and we would watch stage plays and all these different that's just what we did. Like we didn't even appreciate what we were being exposed to.
Mm-mm.
But let you go to an inner city school that is on the wrong side of town, you're not getting none of that, right? When I think it must have been eighth grade, the counselor had this work with each of us, and we did like some kind of test. It wasn't the ASVAB. Like if you black, you took the ASVAB at some point, but they're trying to figure out where you would factor into the military. But this was one where you sat there and they helped you like look at all. It's like they had this big old book. It was all these jobs and all these different kind of careers and all of that. That only happened when I was up north. I have not seen or heard of that since I've been in the South, where someone actually sits there and says, look how big the world is. Where do you want to play in it? And you're not getting that experience if you're in a poor school. You're just not.
No, not at all.
Tracy?
I would visit some of my friends. Sorry, I would visit some of my friends in New York City, and they had PS and then a number. Oh, that was a different everything. Sorry, Tracy.
This country makes me sick. Sick to my stomach. I'm so tired of people. There's no such thing as racism. And you're telling me that you expect, well, first of all, using test scores uh, to evaluate intelligence is already a dumb idea in the first place because there's at least 7 to 8 different types of intelligence. But let's just kind of put that to the side. You expect a school located in the inner city where crime is high to have quote unquote good schools? There's no houses. What I was saying this to my sister the other day, I think, or somebody. What happened to the single houses? Like all you see now in most, or at least in my city, is like apartments. How do you expect schools to get funded by that? And I know, we had a guest on Thursday on my show was talking about it. If you look at least the Indiana Constitution, it's not even legal to fund schools that way. This type of funding should just be every school district should get pretty much the exact same amount. Just across the board, same amount.
Wow.
Um
White folk would never, ever, ever,
I'm just
ever,
saying what
ever.
should. I'm saying what should. I'm saying what should. I didn't say what would happen.
They'll
But we
find a
need to.
loophole.
Yeah, they're fine. But I just it makes me so mad that people like, well, where do legislators expect if you're using property taxes and you live in a large city and all you see are apartments, where's that school getting funding from? You're
Federal
paying
government.
if they get it.
Remember.
Yeah, because sometimes that school don't get that funding from the federal government at all. If it makes it to them, And then, oh, please don't start me on the school vouchers. Let me tell you about school vouchers. I know we didn't talk about it, but I'm gonna talk about it today because I don't care. I'm already ticked off. I'm just in a ticked off mood. How you gonna sit here and use taxpayers' money to pay for parents to send their children to religious schools, i.e., Christian? Here's what you do if you're a Christian and you want your child to learn the Bible. Why don't you teach it to them? You're the parent. I mean, after all, that's your responsibility. My taxpayer money shouldn't pay for your child to go to a religious school. No, stop it. You're being discriminatory. But you know, and charter schools, I can't stand them either because they take resources away from public schools. I'm not a fan of charter schools. I never have been a fan of charter schools. I think they're inherently they're ran by huge corporations that could care less about the students. But at the core of this, the government knows what it's doing. Let's make the black and poor stupid by putting less money into them. And then, oh well, why are they going to jail? Well, gee, there's no opportunity. So guess what? People are going to survive. Whether we like it or not like it, they're going to do what's necessary to survive. And when you purposely make the opportunities rare and you purposely build jails to put them in, you're part of the problem. And so I know that's a whole big rant of nothingness, but it just this is one of those ones that just utterly makes me sick. It's like we look at schools, oh well, they're not doing well on tests. Again, you're using a test to measure intelligence. You can't do that. Some of us don't test well. That doesn't mean we're stupid. It just means we don't test well. Um, the whole system is just it's a purposeful thing that the government has done. Um, it's I can't even I'm not educated enough to say what it is that I'm feeling, but it's just wickety whack. That's what it is. It's wickety whack. It makes me sick. It's utterly stupid. And that's pretty much how I feel about it.
Yeah, I love what you just said because I didn't even think about the school vouchers. But it piggybacks into what Anna was also saying. Think about this. It's the year 2024. We are still doing school busing.
Mhm.
We're still doing a program from 60 years ago. Instead of actually making each school better, we just going to take the ones that we're willing to accept and piecemeal move them into predominantly white schools where they can be even, or they can get access to better teaching. But once they get there, they're going to be disproportionately punished because they're different. They're going to be completely outnumbered. It's almost like when you look at desegregation, you got to keep in the mind frame of how I look at things. Back in the time of desegregation, and everybody was celebrating the schools being integrated. Well, the law that desegregated the schools was like 1954. It was 1960 something before they started doing Ruby Bridges and all that. So you need to ask yourself now, what good is the law if that's what you end up with? And then what did you get? You got young children being traumatized because you're sending 2, 3, 10 into a school that doesn't want them.
Don't want them in the first place.
So they're going to go through hell every day. If you got to send the National Guard to get my child into your school, I don't want my child there. Okay. But it was the only place we could go to get access to some of the schools that will hopefully give better pathways down the way. And I appreciate those who risk their children and risk their family to even give us where we are right now. I just don't think it was the right path. For me, separate. You know what? Make that separate but equal thing real. Okay. So yes, you want us to do separate but equal? Make sure we have the equal, and we'll gladly go be separate. But America never wants that.
Yeah, because I mean, my neighborhood is fairly integrated. There's Hispanic people in my neighborhood. There's black people in my neighborhood. There's white people in my neighborhood. So even if you made the schools local or desegregated, it's still integrated. Because
Well, it depends on where you live.
Yeah, it depends on where you
See,
live, right?
where I live, we're very integrated. Like my neighborhood, I would say is probably mostly Latino, but then you have black and white people as well, right? So we're there, like, but that you break it out in as economic class, right? If you adjust for economic class for household incomes, you will see the segregation, the separation of by race really start getting real obvious to you, right? So if you're down towards the bottom rungs of income, we all look like we together because we all in the same problem. White, black, Latino, we got the same issues as far as that part goes, because outward racism has been reduced to an extent, and we're just fighting against the systemic parts that have just got deeper roots that we're having to navigate. But I was saying like the separation piece where, make it so that people have these outcomes. But what they're doing is a reverse version of that, right? They are trying to move us back into segregation academies. If you're not familiar with that term, look it up. Segregation academies is when they create a private school and they make the tuition just high enough that the poor people can't go.
Can't go.
Okay. So if you're in a poor enough neighborhood, which is where most of these occur, and they still have them in the South, but they've mostly been broken. But now they're trying to push them back in, and they're trying to put them in through like religious schools and stuff like that, to like kind of shroud what they're doing. But they go in and say, okay, well, hey, you got to pay $200 a month, or actually, it's more like $10,000 a year for your child to attend this school. Well, if you poor black people or you poor people, you're gonna be like, I can't go. My kids can't go. They got to go to the underfunded public school, right? But then quiet is kept for a lot of the white children. They get special programs, or the church pays for their portion of their tuition or something like that, and they still get to go. But your black ass can't go nowhere. So it's like there's so many layers to it, and you just have to be aware of what's happening.
It's the funding. It's got to change. The funding itself is racist. These legislators know what they're doing when they use property taxes to fund schools. Period. They know that most people in the city, and I'm not talking about rural areas, I don't live in rural areas, but they know that if most people live in apartments, you're not going, the local school is not going to get any money because there's no property taxes to draw funds. Where are they getting the money from? And then people wonder, well, why are teachers quitting? Because we can't afford to pay them with the little scrap monies that you're getting. State of Indiana sent $7 billion and hasn't even thought about giving teachers rainy day.
And your kids are bad.
Now, I didn't say nothing about kids being bad. Now, see, I didn't do that. Wasn't me.
Them kids bad. There's reasons for it. There's reasons for it.
That's all I got with the is.
At the end of the day,
there's actually a video on that.
You can't pay me enough to deal with some of them
kids. I live in a
kids.
state where it's legal for a teacher to carry a gun in the classroom. A teacher can have a gun not outside, not in the car, not in her purse, not in his, in the classroom. Are you serious?
Yeah. So now the teacher is going to be able to stop somebody with an AR style rifle with their concealed 9mm pistol. Meanwhile, the police can't even do nothing. This is like an emotional band-aid that is just doomed to go way wrong. So
you get a teacher with a temper. What happens when the teacher gets the gun?
That's what I'm just literally waiting on that.
I'm just waiting where the student takes the gun from the teacher and then shoots the teacher. What's going to happen then?
Two of those things are going to happen eventually. Either you're going to have a teacher who, quite honestly, doesn't have completely burnt out, run up against the wrong student who's acting a fool in a way, and
we know what race that child is going to be.
Under the algorithm of YouTube, do what he knows he ain't supposed to do, or you going to have that really bad kid who really done had it too, no matter
take
what
the gun
is.
It's one or the other.
Has the gun.
I'll give you another angle. So you have the teacher who has this thing. Children are children. Okay, they make irrational decisions. They think everything is a joke. It's just part of being young. So you'll also have the kids who aren't bad. They're just very mischievous and they don't know how to take the right thing serious. So it becomes a bit of a game. Who can get the teacher's gun first?
Yep.
Not to use it. No interest in using it. We just want to show I can get it. So then that way you get fired because I got your gun. Right? Or child gets out of hand. Child is burnt out, stressed out. Just I'm going to use like your little stereotypical test case, right? Mom's working 2-3 jobs. You 15, 16 years old, responsible for getting your 9-year-old sibling ready for school each day and making sure that they're fed, making sure they're clothed, make sure you are tired, right? You are a 15-year-old adult, right? And you're having a bad day. And you and the teacher get into a squabble. You cursing at them, they not backing down. How long is it gonna take before the teacher does that move where they anybody who carries know when they square off a little bit? How long before that one happens? Right? But the people who are pushing this are deep conservatives, and they like to say that guns are culture and guns are just a tool, and we're raised to respect weapons and all that. But I'm like, but you're missing objective reality, and you're missing it on purpose because you're really just pushing I don't know what you're pushing because it doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't. And could you imagine? We all know what's going to happen. If you get a racist teacher in there, it's like, you know what? I'm tired of these little bad kids in here. I'm going to take them all out. What if that happens?
Or just stressed out teachers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, stressed out, underpaid, overworked, expected to be the parent.
There's like one good outcome. The one good outcome is someone manages to get into a school with a weapon and 8 teachers got a pistol and they're all very well trained and they identify the target and they work out or they execute the training protocols and somebody is managing to shoot the intruder before he harms any children. There's one outcome. And then there's like 50 bad ones. But let's just focus on that one.
We live in America where they're going to remember that one good outcome.
Yes.
Ignore the
good guy with the gun.
Ones.
Ignore the other ones that probably will happen. Let's just focus on the ones that probably will never happen.
And start making laws and protocols and procedures to push that one good outcome
that will never happen
over the 50 bad outcomes
that probably will happen.
Because thoughts and prayers. But
anyway, you're about to put police officers in Uvalde in prison as we speak. Well, you're not going to, but you're trying to put some of them in prison. You might make a scapegoat or 2 out of a couple of them.
You got a couple of them you gonna get.
They were trained for this. In fact, they had just trained for this like a month before it happened. So, but yeah, my school teacher who's trying to teach me geometry is going to be the savior of the day. Got it. Okay.
All right, everybody. Let's move on to the next one real quick. The next one in the category of systemic racism, employment.
The employment system has hurt people of color more than others. Then again, a lot of this is related to the education system. People of color are more likely to be unemployed. They tend to get less job opportunities and worse benefits. In the United States, blacks earn 30% less than whites. The median household income of African Americans is about 1/8 that of the median household income of whites. Blacks are underrepresented in high-paying professions. On average, African American entrepreneurs get $35,000 in loans to start a business versus the $107,000 that whites get.
So when you listen to people who tell you those same statistics, but they're, like I said, they're coming in bad faith. When they're telling you more blacks are in jail, there are more black murder, there are more uneducated blacks, there are more unemployed blacks, blacks get paid less, and blah, blah, blah. See, I'm trying to give you the tools on how to fight that. And the tools is just ask them real quick, why you think that is? And they'll say everything around what they really want to say is simply because they're black. Because that's what they want you to believe. Your color of skin dictates exactly where you are. They're giving you a big long spew around this, that, and the other statistics and everything. But let's just cut to the chase, okay? But we could talk. We family. We could talk. You just really want to say because you're black. That the education system has nothing to do with it. Systemic racism had nothing to do with it. Red line didn't have nothing to do with it. Banking didn't have anything to do with it. Government didn't have anything to do with it. Laws didn't have the enforcement of laws didn't have anything to do with it. None of that matters. What you really just want to come out and say, he was just born wrong. So let's just cut to the chase. So I show you this series of there's a reason why these things happen. It's not because whatever. Your skin is dark. You have coarse hair. Your hair is longer. You was born in the wrong ghetto. As if there's a right ghetto to be born in, but okay. You were born in the wrong ghetto. Because you was fatherless. And that's another thing because, well, you're black. Of course you're going to be fatherless. Let's just cut to the chase of it all. This series is to show you there's a reason for everything. We went from education, which is to stop blacks from getting employment on the same level as whites. That's not going to be said out loud. They're going to show you the cause or the ending. They're not going to explain how it happened, though. That's what this series is showing you. The whole thing yesterday when we was talking about systemic racism, and the first thing they say is systemic racism is not real because there are no laws on the book. We never said there were. And there were no laws on the books. We said the enforcement of certain laws is what's causing it. And they knew it was going to be that way. You knew when you put this law into effect, it only had one outcome. But to flat out say, no, we're not going to give you any money because you're black, that's going a little too far. Let's say we're not going to give you any money because of the area that we deem is too high risk. Yeah, that sounds better.
Marlon, I disagree. I mean, I agree what you're saying, but we've had a couple banks. I'm going to call their names: Wells Fargo, Chase. My bank, Navy Federal Credit Union, that have been literally. I think Navy Federal Credit Union is going through a lawsuit now that they've denied black people with excellent credit scores loans.
Well, that's not a law. Excellent. That was their policy. And that was their private policy.
That's discrimination.
Sure. Yeah, because there are fair lending practices that they're violating. But the problem that we run into is the punishment is microscopic
that's the problem.
To the profit. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to have to pay you $100 million? Okay, but I made $3 billion.
Instead of taking their licenses away to practice, which would be more impactful. But the banks are too big to fail. Well,
if you did what you just said, Tracy, then you end up hurting a lot of other things in the economy. And everything in the economy is about the economy. It's not about any individual, any group. It's not about right and wrong. It's about the economy. But yeah, so I'm with you. I'm so with you. Um, but I don't want to run on, so I'm gonna say some things. I took some notes while he was for that little short video joint, right? So first thing, like piggybacking off of what Tracy was saying. So banks, they still won't lend to our community in a disproportionate manner. Not because, like Marlon said, not because you're black, but they're not going to write that down. They're not stupid. Okay. What they do is they put things around it. If you're familiar with the Southern strategy, that's where they were also talking about as well. Like we can't say inward, inward, inward. What we're going to say is inner city or vulnerable or whatever we want to say, because it still comes back to the same group of people. But so banks won't lend to us because of the math. Okay. So let's walk through that math just a touch. All right. So black-owned businesses, I'm just talking about them. I'm talking about black-owned businesses particularly. Oftentimes, we're starting on a shoestring, right? Those of us on the panel are very intimately aware of this. So you're starting a business with just your money, and you ain't got no money. So that means you're going to go into businesses that have an easy point of entry, right? So you're going to do things like barbers, hairstylists, content creators, things like that. Things that have a low threshold for you to be able to get started trying to do something. Well, that means there's a lot of people flowing down those few paths. Problem is, you're doing it undercapitalized. You don't have any money and you don't have any assets to actually lean on. And if you do have assets, you can't leverage them because the banks won't lend to you. So you can own your house and still not be qualified to get equity out of your house. That's messed up, but that's a whole different discussion. So you're trying to do this. So there's a lot of people doing a similar thing. Nobody has any money. What is the consequence of that? Well, businesses already fail at a high rate, no matter who you are. Well, your business is almost certainly more prone to failure when you're undercapitalized. So now, by definition, you've created a definition that being a hairstylist, being a beautician, being any of those other things is inherently more risky to the bank because you are more likely to fail. Not because you are a bad credit risk per se, but because you don't have the capital going in to sustain the business while you're trying to grow it. So now you become an undesirable. This is how you can get to the same effect, but you use different math, right? And that's part of what you run into. So here are some things that I would say are ways we can combat that or work within that particular system so that we can get to the point where the banks don't see color, because there is a point. There's a point where private enterprise stops seeing color, right? So couple things. One, we can look at community source funding, right? Those of you who follow what I'm doing, you know that that's a huge piece of what I'm doing. So you work within the community, small dollar donations, we make commitments to each other on what we're trying to do, and we build that way. Okay, so now you have a whole lot of people giving you $10, $20. You now have a positive cash flow of a couple $1,000 based on how many people are assisting you. You can now start things. You have cash flow that's running even when you're trying to get your services and your products running, right? That's one way. Apprenticeships. You have Black attorneys, you have Black plumbers, you have Black electricians, you have people who have somehow managed to stay in business long enough to have become sustainable. Doesn't mean that they're always profitable, but they've crossed that first hurdle, okay? But one of their big issues is having good staffing, good qualified employees. So the community can do that by helping with apprenticeships. So now my son is 16 years old. I'm going to apprentice him with your plumbing company in exchange for you teaching him the ropes and getting him to where he can become a general contractor in that respect. You don't even have to pay him. The community can help pay him, or the family. I'll just take care of it myself because that's my son. He'll work for free for you, but this is in exchange for that, right? You can do that. Now you have more of those professionals coming into the pipeline. Also, as Black people in America specifically, The federal government has been the closest thing to a friend that we've had since we've been here. Yes, the federal government is what co-signed us going into or staying in slavery, but is also the same entity that has done the most work to get us out of slavery and eliminate some of the thresholds. That's why the vast majority of your middle class Black families all work for the government. Okay, because that's where we have the best opportunity. So that's where you need to learn about the Small Business Administration, like Tracy was talking about previously. That's where you have to start learning about grant utilization, right? So there's ways that we can start to combat that, but so long as we don't own much, we are subject to the whims of established corporations and these banks, and it's a hard way to go.
The only thing that I really can add is start looking around online, because there are a lot of people who will give you advice. They can give you legal advice. There are lawyers. They can give you advice about small business. We are seeing a big change in what people do as work. And there's a lot of people out there that are trying to use their expertise to help others. You know, Law Mom, I think, was one of them. Sorry, I knew a couple, but I didn't write anyone down or anything. Just start looking. There are people that are talking about what you want to do. Like it or not, everything has changed with social media.
Hey, Tracy?
I'm gonna say it again. Somebody may have a problem with what I'm gonna say. Don't matter. Support Black businesses. 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 Small businesses. Sometimes you have to pay for quality. I've been trying to find for years a local pharmacy so that I don't have to go to Walmart. I haven't had much finding it, but I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep trying. But I think one of the things I want to purposely start doing is supporting. Instead of just, well, my beautician is Black. I got to take a little bit further than that in terms of where I buy my food and where I buy my furniture. And now some things we're just not going to own. We're just not going to be in those fields, such as, I don't know, I can't think of any field that we're not in. There's Black owned car lots. There's restaurants. That's the easiest place to start. Everybody has a Black owned restaurant somewhere in their town. Somewhere in their city, there's a Black owned something. Support it. And I say that, and I'm going to stand on it.
Good for you. All right, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down a little earlier because it's 5 minutes, and we'll just, if I show another video, we'll obviously run over. So no need to do that. So we're just going to stop a little early to reboot and refresh, and we'll see everybody on the other side with a Am I the A-hole? Real or Nah, and Foxy's videos of the week. 3-minute break to reboot and refresh, and we'll see everybody on the other side. Stay tuned.
Lift every voice and sing till reach a better side. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading a path through the blood of the Son. Now from the gloomy past till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us the star on the way, thou who hast by thy mind led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places of God where we met thee, lest our hearts drunk with the wine of the world we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land.
We are back, and as usual, let's go ahead and pay those bills. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/Tracy Media Fan. Help support Tracy and all of her endeavors. Please do not forget to go to Anna Hart's website, PirelliEtc.com. Learn something that you didn't think you need to know, but you should. And as always, if you need to reach me, you can do so at bradtp@outlook.com. That's RADTP@outlook.com. 2 announcements. I nailed it back-to-back nights. Heh. Second announcement that I'm going to semi-announce, because I'm going to let my brother from another mother finish off. Starting next week, there will be a new entry on this. So, Biz, you want to go ahead and let everybody know? You ready? You ready? You're muted.
You're muted.
So obviously you're not ready.
So no, apparently I was not ready. No, so yeah, we are in the early stages of our soft launch for our United Core. So this is we're not asking for any contributions, any donations, no signups just yet, but we are beginning to acquire email addresses and contact information for people who are interested in becoming sustainers and supporters and members, so that we can gauge our level of acceptance and opportunity within the community. And then from there, we'll do our official launch, and we'll start actually trying to deliver on some of these projects that we're trying to make happen.
Right. So I jumped the gun. They're still in that
Take it.
but his name is going to be on that board sometime in the near future. So we can go ahead and push out this phenomenal program that Brother Diaz is leading. He's been talking about community outreach for the longest time. I think it's admirable to put him up there with Tracy and with Anna. I ain't got nothing but this show, so. But
your show makes all this possible.
No, but I ain't got no. You know what I mean. I don't. Well, anyway. So hopefully in the near future, Diaz's name will be up on the board of paying bills, and I'll flummox through that for a couple of weeks before I nail that too, but I am gonna nail it though. Am I the a-hole? I actually have two for tonight because one is like really short, like a minute and 35 seconds. I mean, it's really short. Um, I don't like the way my coworker dresses.
I am male 34, have a coworker, Orla, 32 female. We work in academics and our dress code is extremely lax. I haven't worked there long as I recently joined the team. Anyway, Orla dresses weird. Think that witchy vampire goth weird with flowy skirts and combat boots, etc. Don't get me wrong, Orla is a very attractive woman. She is tall and thin with a beautiful face, but her style is really off-putting. I was invited to join my coworkers for a drink on Friday. They sometimes go out after work. I accepted. Everyone had a couple of drinks, so don't judge me. I got a bit tipsy, and while outside having a cigarette, I talked to Orla and told her she's really pretty, but she's ruining it with the way she dresses and that she scares off men. She laughed at me, called me an asshole, and went to join the other people. It was really rude. Wait, which part was really rude? What she said to you or what you said to her? I assume OP means that what she said was rude. I don't think she took it that way. When I got back, they were all whispering, but no one said anything to me. Today, I found out that they all think I was out of line and a huge asshole because a workmate, Tom, told me they all bitched about me on their group chat. Turns out I'm not yet a member because I was too new. They all think I was the asshole, and I genuinely can't see how. I was only honest and tried giving her advice. I mean, I'd ask her out, but I'd be ashamed to be seen with her in public, and I'm sure many men would too. She's too old to be playing dress up. But now I'm worried I fudged up, and if I was the asshole, I might have to make amends, as I can't get sacked again. Am I the astronaut for telling the truth?
Damn, Chad, you got problems.
Really? Really?
What?
Dude.
No, this is definitely Chad. This Chad. This got Chad all over it.
No, this is a Tom.
Unsolicited opinions about this woman's way she dresses and carries herself. Just met the person and you giving this insight. I'd date her, but I could never be seen with her.
She's
Chad.
too old to play dress up.
But I still do it, right? You know, Chad, sacked again. Yeah, bro. Sound like this is you problem.
Oh, wait.
Okay, let me go ahead and say this real quickly. Bro, you for real? Are you for real? First of all, let's just go back for being honest. And I know we've heard this statement before, but this statement literally fits this situation that we're talking about right now. That's not being honest. That's your honesty. Your honesty is flawed as hell, dude. Your honesty is flawed. Nobody asked you. Number two, you think very highly of yourself because what you really want to say is if you want to date me, you're going to have to change the way you dress. I don't think she gave any hints that she want to date you. You barely did. Number three, and I want you to really think this really, really hard, okay? You don't want to be sacked again. That kind of gives off the vibe as if you were sacked for the exact same damn reason. And I'm not saying it was your last job, but one of them jobs in the past, you ran your honesty towards somebody that didn't ask for it, and you were gone again. Number four, don't ever tell anybody how to dress. They're grown as hell just like you, dude. Somebody can look at you and go, you dress like an idiot. They probably ain't never gonna tell you because they have manners and it's none of their business. And
Nobody tells Chad that.
So, bruh, I want you to really think really hard, not for the simple fact of I want you to keep this in mind. And people like you. Just because it pops in your head don't mean it has to come out your mouth. It really doesn't. It can pop in your head, and you probably could be wrong. I would pretty much sure think that you was wrong if you was thinking it. But it's a thought. It ain't got to come out your mouth, man. It just doesn't have to be said. It just don't. I'm pretty sure you can sleep at night. Gosh, I wish I would have told her the way I like for women like her to dress. I'm sure you could go to bed without having to tell her that. I promise you. And if not, give it a shot. Give it a try. And last but not least, this to all the chads out there. Stop trying to blame it on the alcohol. Dude, this was you. This was all you. Either one, you was going to drink, and I'm glad it was earlier better than later. Either one, you going to drink and it came out your mouth and you sound like an idiot. Or two, and this is the worst case scenario, you was going to wait until you was real comfortable in that group and you thought you was really into that group and the group was into you, and you still would have said the exact same thing. And you would have still got the same result. So that's all my advice to you, but chads are going to chat. So, Anna?
No. Chad, Tom, whatever your name is, there's a big difference between a fact and an opinion. You fucked around and found out, and really, no, never, ever tell somebody else, anyone else, how to dress. Would this be any kind of cause for, say she went to HR and said, like, dang, I was really offended. Would there be any kind of consequences?
Oh yeah, this will go straight to HR if she
There would
chose to
be a
do that.
consequence. It wouldn't take it up to firing, depending on how sensitive the company is. There would be a reprimand and there would be something in his file. And this right here is just as bad, because when they put something in your file on something like this, they've already decided they're going to go ahead and start a pattern of behavior. So if he does anything remotely in the same realm of what he just did right now, that does
Yeah.
go into that pattern.
Gotcha.
But
But this is why you don't go out with your coworkers and drink.
Can't I can't point to your screen, but what did you just say? Tell the
Think
whole
opposite,
truth.
Tracy. Think opposite.
No, what they said, I 1,000,000% agree with. Yeah, I know, but I'm at the top, so I don't know how to point bottom. Did you ask me to say something? Did you ask me to
No,
say
but you
something?
go
Chad, because I guess that's what we're calling you now. Way to low key say that you're interested in dating a woman. I mean, if you're just gonna be interested in dating her, who asked you for fashion advice? Who's sitting here wanting your opinion about anything at any time, at any place? Don't nobody care what you think. You the new person. You are the low person on the pole. And if you keep running your mouth, you might be at another job, Chad. So if I were you, Chad, I would, one, mind my own business. Two, stop telling adults how to dress. Three, worry about my own self. How about that, Chad? Why don't you shut up? Stop and stop with the I would date her. She don't want you. She don't want you. Why would some woman or man, because I don't know, I'm assuming this is a woman he was after, want to date you? You're a creep. You are
He's a
creepy.
chadster.
He's a creep. This is the type of man I tell him what he could kiss. This is seriously the type of man. I'm just like, you know what you can kiss. You know what you can do.
I
Because
think I
And
know.
then he'll go straight to HR and he'll omit everything that he did,
oh
and he'll
well,
say
and
that
I
you were
nope,
hostile and
because
mean. And
I would record myself saying it because that is completely disrespectful. He's not her supervisor, so let's just say they didn't have a
Even
lax
if he
dress
was
code.
my supervisor, you
That
still don't get
wouldn't
nothing
be
like that.
appropriate.
No, but
Yeah.
a supervisor in some cases they can tell you, we expect professional dress or we expect,
If you
business
have a
you got
casual.
a dress
you have
code.
a
Yeah.
company
Yes,
wide
if they have a
policy,
dress
That's
code.
yeah.
yeah.
So a
If you have a
supervisor
company
could say
wide
that.
policy of loose clothes, loose clothes,
Loose?
um,
They
of
stripping in these
Modest.
streets?
Yeah.
Modest?
modest clothing. If you have a company wide policy of that, unless it's inappropriate, and let's stop playing this game, please, America, stop playing this game of I think you wearing a pink shirt with a black top is inappropriate. Stop the bullshit. You a grown ass person. You know what the hell inappropriate mean, especially if you're a manager. Stop acting like you just stupid all of a sudden.
Bro,
Some nah,
bro,
Marlon,
hardest
you
thing in the world is to manage women's dress code. That mess is impossible. It's
Yeah,
impossible if you're the male manager. It's impossible if you're the female manager. You have a hard time managing
no.
women's dress code.
If
Some of
you
y'all men
know
show up in
y'all,
super
if you
tight
know
shirts
y'all to
and know
shut up
you
a
too
mouth,
big to be wearing them.
you know what I mean when I say
Yeah, they should be
inappropriate. I
arrested.
said it's
Anyway,
on the verge. If it's on the verge of you going out to the club, if you on the verge of you know the difference between that and you just don't like the two colors together.
But Marlon, that's not what I'm
Oh,
getting at.
why the hell would you wear high heels with blue jeans?
I do that all the
Like
time.
that stuff
Hence
right
our
there
podcast name. But
is our
come on, what I'm getting at
Anna
is
Tracy's podcast comes on.
you
Check it
don't know.
out.
I feel like it.
But what I'm getting at is if there is not if he's her supervisor, let's just say he's her supervisor, and there's a specific dress code because most large companies, most small companies have like an example, like you can wear this, but you can't wear this. They have little pictures even to show you what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. That's one thing. But he already started off wrong when he said they have a lax dress code. He already started this whole sentence wrong. He couldn't mind his business. She's not gonna go out with you because I think that's what he ultimately wanted. Because he can say, I think she's too pretty. She don't want you. She do not want you. You're the type of man that women tell to kiss off. That's what we do. We say,
just
let us
rude.
bend up because you, sir, are a jerk. Now, would I go around wearing boots and a skirt? Probably not. Well, no, depending on what type of boots. Because if they the high thigh ones, those are cute. High
I'm
thigh
so
So
boots
first of
are
all,
cute.
I don't like high thigh boots, except on very very slim occasions, but it ain't up to me. Um,
not at all.
is this is real simple. Even if he was in a supervisory position, they weren't at work, so that's
Yeah,
all.
that's the other thing.
You know,
Yeah, it's like
and
she's.
and then
Let me piggyback off of what you said, Theus. Even in a supervisory position, you don't start off, you don't in the middle of your conversation talking about somebody's dress code. I mean, not their dress code, but how they dress. You would try to make it professional, like, I don't like the way you're dressing in the workplace because this. Chad didn't even do that. Chad said you running off men because of the way you dress. It had nothing to do with the business.
right, that's what I'm saying. That's like
Yeah.
not to get lost in the sauce, right? Like it's just bad. It's just bad all the way around, and he has no self control, and he thinks that
He ain't
his
gonna
opinion is
last.
gospel, and he's just gonna give it. He's just gonna give it. And you nailed it when you did yours, Marlon. When you were saying is like you would otherwise be acceptable to me if you would just change these few things.
Mhm.
And it's like, dude, who cares what will be acceptable? Did she hit on you? You know what I'm saying?
That's what
So
he
just
wanted, though. You could tell that's what he was looking for.
Yeah.
yeah,
He's like
like
that little
how did this
boy.
play in your mind? Like she was gonna say, "Oh, thank you for bringing that to my attention. I do need to change how I dress. Would
That's
you
right.
consider maybe going to dinner with me then?"
So he could say, "No, well, she wanted
So you
me."
think of how?
Man, this ain't. Ooh, shut
Oh
up,
God!
Tracy.
All right,
Shut
everybody.
up.
Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Everybody a hole because somebody has to explain this to me. I got the full concept of it, but the timing of it is kind of throwing me off. But I kind of got it, so I just need somebody to explain it to me. Didn't pay for a birthday dinner.
I'm in a very new relationship, and her birthday fell on maybe our 9th or 10th date. Up until now, on our dates, I paid the first date, she paid the second date, and then since I've just asked the server to half the check, and she goes along with this fine. Anyway, I thought it would be nice if we got an Airbnb out of state for a week, overlapping with her birthday. So I suggested this to celebrate her birthday. She offered to pay towards it, and so I accepted. Split the travel cost in half, and she Venmo'd me half of that. Anyway, her birthday fell on the last day we were there, and we'd taken turns paying for things up until then. I was hoping to pay for her birthday meal, but the way things fell, it happened to be her turn to pay on that night. Anyway, the bill was a little more expensive than the other nights because we'd gone all out a little bit more since it was a celebration with cocktails and desserts, etc. So the bill ended up being the most expensive meal we'd had there. I picked quite an upmarket seafood restaurant for the occasion too. Hold up. Important note. I had picked an upmarket seafood restaurant for the occasion. OP picked. Hang on to that. The night before, she'd thanked me for dinner, and I told her it was okay because she could get the bill next night, her birthday, and she said, sure, but seemed a little off. I can't imagine why. Anyway, on her birthday, the dinner bill came while I was in the bathroom, and she hadn't paid it by the time I was back. But I put this down to her being a little tipsy. I asked her what she wanted to do about the check, whether she preferred if I paid it since it was her birthday, and she just said, it's okay, and that she could get it. I accepted since it had been my turn the night before, and she paid. It was a little more expensive than the other nights, $130 versus maybe $70 or $80 the other nights, but not by much, so we pretty much ended up even over the checks as a whole. No, that's that's damn near double, dude. It's just a little bit higher, like 100%. However, she seems to have been a little bit colder with me since then, even though I got her a nice gift. I think I earn a significant amount more than her. I'm a software engineer and she's a new teacher, so I prefer not to pay for everything on dates because I don't want a gold digger. In my experience, American women don't usually mind doing 50-50, but then I have a limited experience. Why is she being off with me? Could it be to do with the check, even though I offered? Was she annoyed that it was a bit more expensive than the previous nights? I did order quite a lot of food that night. Am I the astronaut, or is she being a princess?
Okay, never mind. I got it.
When they said he was a software engineer, that made it all make sense to me. At that point, it all made sense. And okay, them dudes different. They super smart, But that whole understanding people thing,
No.
Her birthday. Dude.
Okay, man, I'm gonna say this one time, but Thea's hit it on the nail. You're not gonna listen. It's not that you're not gonna listen. You're gonna try to make this logical. It is not. For you to try to make sure that you're not dating a gold digger is to not make her pay more than you.
I know,
That's
right?
not how this works. You don't know what a gold digger is, by definition.
what
And
is
I'm not
this thing they
even
call gold? You You Americans, you use this word. What is this word? I do not understand this word. I know I do not want this word.
He
I
don't
do not
either.
want this word. Is you this word?
He don't either. So for to save you, okay. First of all, if you're gonna do something for somebody for their birthday, what we're not gonna do is go, okay, let's make this transitional now. Because this is for your birthday. So can you split the bill with me? So you would have the privilege of being with me on your birthday. I know that's not what you need to say, but that's how it came off. Then you decided to pick a very expensive restaurant, which just so happened to fall on her payday because her birthday was the next day. You just so happen to be the most hungriest individual on the face of the planet at this very expensive restaurant because you admitted that you ordered a lot. For her birthday, I guess great Airbnb. So yeah, we're gonna go cheap on the dinner now. And you wondering why she the best case scenario to you right now, dude, is that she's being quiet with you. Because if you really want to know about American women, let me explain it to you real quick. Other American women would have waited till they got home and then blocked you on every damn social media and phone they possibly get their hands on that they can think of and being done with this. You have to look at it, since you want to look at it transitional, since you want to look at it economic. At this point in time, she is losing more money dating you than she did not. Now do you get it? She is losing more money dating you than not dating you. You are an engineer. She is a new teacher. It's not financial feasible to date you. Technically, you're the fucking gold digger. You're spending the least amount of money you possibly can to date her, who makes less than you. But anyway, I'm just saying it to say it because I'm pretty sure everything I'm saying right now, you're putting into a program right now to make sure that I'm correct. So
You ain't got to be rude, man.
Dang, tell us how you really feel.
There's nothing wrong with being logical. But what he's doing is not being logical. What he's doing is trying to shroud his bad behavior with logic. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is intentionally pretending not to understand. Some people just don't need to date. That's all it is to it. Some people just don't need, you're not ready. You're not ready for this. So next time, hey, buddy, let's go and hang out. And I'm doing this because I can tap into a particular phase of my own dating life where I was oblivious. And a young lady that I was friends with, like, she said she just wanted a friend. And I said, I can be that. And yes, she was excruciatingly beautiful. Like, when you talk about out of my league appearance wise, this girl was out there. So, you want a friend? Cool. I'll be your friend, but I'm a literal cat. So if you tell me I'm your friend, that's the hell I am. So we would hang out. We would go bowling. We would go to movies. We would go get stuff to eat. You know, if I was free and she was free, that's what we did. But hey, you my buddy. I'm sitting here trying to figure out how I date some of your friends. Like, that's, you my buddy. You know?
Oh, good Lord.
I'm telling you. Come to find out, she actually liked me because one day she was like, "Hey, how come you've never tried to kiss me? You never try anything." I was like, "Because you said you wanted a friend."
Oh my
So,
God.
So I mean, I can see how it can happen, but that's proof that at that time I needed to not have been dating. But the funny thing was, is like, but I was dating, like one or two other girls at the time. So I was actually dating them. She was my buddy. But this guy is different. This guy, he's just like on a whole nother
I'm not even
wavelength.
know anymore. I'm not even sure.
No, because he intentionally was like going out with her, but he couldn't understand birthday. Like even in my goofy, oblivious way, I would have known on the day of your birthday, you don't pay for nothing. I mean, when I go out with my homeboys on their birthday, they don't pay for nothing.
No.
You roll cash free. We got you. Right? All your drink, all your food, that's on us. Right? So I would have at least picked up on that. This dude was like, Now it's like two kids who got to take turns washing the dishes. I hope Thanksgiving lands on your day. Like, this dude was out there. Me, I was just oblivious.
Anna?
What do you add to that?
You just say, I understand, thieves.
Don't do that. No.
I actually do understand you. You were oblivious, and she was trying to tell you for months.
She wasn't trying to tell me nothing. She said she wanted a friend. I was her friend.
Thieves, I have this strange.
I was a good friend.
That friend was code.
I have a strange feeling that you're going to tell us a story of you went to a girl's apartment. She says to sit on the couch. I'll be right back. She comes back out with a lingerie on that says, I'm sorry, it's really hot in here. And you just look at her and go, yeah, we done had a real heat wave lately, so I understand.
Yes, I do have stories similar to that because
Wow.
the thing about me is I'm serious. I do not take liberty. I do not. I am one of those people who do not believe that you miss opportunities. I believe that it happened or it didn't happen, right? So I will not guess with access to your body. I'm not gonna guess. I'm not gonna, right? Now that would have been a pretty obvious one, but I've gotten pretty close to being that dumb. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
if I'm listening to what you're saying, I know we're going on a straight tangent, but we got time. We know we're near 3 hours. So you don't understand flirting. I'm not putting words in your mouth, but
I don't always understand flirting. No, I don't. I don't always understand it.
Okay. So
like for example, my wife, we were talking. I don't think we were actually officially dating at this time. And we were in college, and I was at her apartment. And it was starting to get late, so I was like, "Well, I'm gonna go ahead and head back to my spot. Good night, whatever." But while I was there, she had given me a wine cooler, right, to drink with my dinner or whatnot. And so she was like, "You think that you are safe to drive home because you've been drinking?" And in my head, I'm like, "Girl, you don't know how I drink. Man, whatever. I'm good." You know what I'm saying? Come to find out, that was her way of opening the door for me to stay. You got to be a little bit more clear than that. I don't know, because this thing, if we've not crossed that threshold, because at that point I don't know for a fact, but I'm almost positive we hadn't crossed that threshold. If you know what I'm talking about. So there is no, I'm not going to be forward with you. I'm not. Now, if we've already crossed that threshold, then yeah, I mean, it's always on and popping, so I'm looking for any opportunity. But if we have not done that, nope. Let me go ahead and get up out of here. You have a good night. See you tomorrow. 8 o'clock, Miss Johnson class, right? That's
Okay.
Can I
And I'm
please?
not gonna jump. This is not an insult to your
yes,
wife.
it is. Go ahead.
It isn't. It really isn't. It's not an insult to your wife. But Mrs. Theus, Mrs. Robinson. Sounds icky because I know that
Yeah, you know the movie, don't you? Don't it sound sick? You be like,
that just literally just popped in my head. It's like, oh,
try to seduce me, Mrs.
oh, oh,
I don't even know what movie y'all talking about.
You never heard of Mrs. Robinson?
Mrs. Robinson, where the teacher's trying to seduce the.
What
Even
was
I've
that?
seen that movie
Anyway,
I don't know
with
nothing about
Dustin
that.
Hoffman.
I don't even know who that is. I know that name.
Mrs.
You can line
Robinson.
him up in front of me right now, and I'd be like, I don't know who that is. He's famous, ain't he? That's what you'll get from me.
Mrs. Robinson. That was a great way of flirting. That's a great way of getting somebody to stay with you. You do realize a wine cooler is like a shot mixed in with a gallon of Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I got 2 of them right
Yeah,
here.
hell yeah, I'm able to drive home. It's a wine cooler.
That's how my
What?
brain was reading. Yes.
It was. You had a wine cooler. You sure it's safe
Thank
to
you for
drive?
being concerned for me, but no, I'll be fine to drive.
Lady, a wine cooler, I mean safe enough to play a whole NBA basketball game. A wine cooler.
I guess I gotta really say this.
I'm not good with flirting. I'm just
Diaz,
not
I
good
got
with
to
it.
say this. I'm gonna quote a song that I learned as a child. What a friend we have in Jesus. She did not mean for you to be her friend. That's not what she was talking about. Even if I can
Um,
catch on to it.
No, because I think now that's a different story. That was a different girl, but I'm positive that when she said that, that
She
is
was not.
exactly
She
what she
was
meant.
not meaning. Oh, what sins and griefs we bear, or what needless pain we bury when we refuse to take it to him. No, that's not what she meant. That's not what
No,
she
I
meant.
guarantee you, I am so confident
Nope,
in
that's
that
not
I
what she
read
meant.
that part
That's not what she
correctly
meant.
because that's what the situation was. What the problem is poor communication between me and her because I did not realize the signs when things were starting to change. You see
What
what
a
I'm saying?
friend. I'm just gonna say,
But
what a
oh, by
friend.
the way, Parker, when you say I was thinking of the Simon and Garfunkel song, Mrs. Robinson, the Simon and Garfunkel
He
song
wrote it for it.
For the movie, which
wrote
I
Yeah.
for
can't. Even I've
the
seen
same
that
thing.
movie.
I don't even know what that is, man. I don't-
But anyway,
What a
real or
friend.
nah? Okay, let's just get this out of the way. This is a cheating video. I didn't come to the conclusion. I listen to a lot more. I have not read a Reddit story, and I've never read a Reddit story. Who am I fooling? I listen to a lot more Reddit stories than anybody on this panel, probably anybody in the audience, because I'm picking them out for the show. So, after a while, when you start listening to a lot of Reddit stories, subconsciously you begin to get a pattern. It's like, okay, this sounds like something that I've heard before. You just changed the location or the sex of the person or whatever, but it's little changes in it. Then you hear enough of the stories where it just comes to the fact of, okay, now I'm getting to the point where Reddit is just one big brain trust for inspiring authors who just want to
Yes.
write things up, knowing this never really happened and everything else. So once I get stories like that, I'm gonna start putting them under real or not because it just seems like if it's real, I apologize for saying that, dude, you can't be that stupid. If it's nah, then I'm absolutely correct on what I'm thinking is that you're just trolling and putting out something like that just to piss a whole bunch of people off. With that said, White says sleeping with prostitutes is not cheating.
Well, today I learned an interesting fact about my wife that kinda disturbed me. We were driving, and she kept telling me that she doesn't view prostitution as cheating, and couples who use them aren't cheating as long as they tell each other. She basically went on to explain further that, in her eyes, it's just like using them as a dildo, and I feel the world would be better off if married couples could just screw other people, and she said, I'd love to do it someday. She went on telling me that it's an amazing way to explore your fantasy, like this fantasy which I can't say on YouTube to make you feel good, because every partner can't please all your fantasies all the time. Meanwhile, we haven't passionately hugged in weeks, and I've been working 10 to 15-hour days just trying to help pay the bills with inflation at an all-time high. We're currently on a mini vacation. At one point, she rolled over, and I tried to initiate some foreplay, and she immediately tells me, I'm not horny. I immediately rolled over with anger and frustration with the rejection. I love my wife, but what she said today really hurt me. She's rejected me for weeks, and I feel completely useless, hurt, miserable in terms of how low my marriage has reached, and overall so angry. Am I the only one who finds this very confusing, concerning? I chatted with her more and told her how uncomfortable this made me.
That's because she's
I'm
cheating.
gonna go last on this one. So
Man, the story don't even line up. Like he told two different stories in one story.
Did he though?
I
But
mean, come
she's
on.
cheating. Dude, she's cheating. She's cheating. She might as well
Yeah, she
just,
pretty much just told you that.
I mean, dude, she literally is telling you, I mean, come on. This is real. Yep, she's telling him. I think
she didn't pretty much told you. This is why I think she didn't told him, right? First of all, I don't think that she is paying some change for some strange. I don't think she doing that. But because ladies don't typically do that. They do cheat, but they don't necessarily do that. The market's a little slim for that. But she has just given you permission to go get it somewhere else because she don't plan on giving it to you. Like she just kind of gave you a side story to help you understand that, you know, we don't have to break up or nothing like that. But if you feel frustrated, there's things you could do, and no harm, no foul as far as I'm gonna be concerned. Just let me know before you do it so that I can protect myself. Right? That's what she just said to him. She may not even be cheating herself. She just might be over the relationship on that level. So she don't want to have intercourse with him. So she's saying, go satisfy your needs over there. But, you know, that's what that's just what I'm kind of getting from, because, you know, you don't know. People go through changes, man. We don't know these people. I mean, they might have said the ages. I don't think they did. But let's say she's going through menopause. So her drive has changed. Let's say she's just going through some other physiological change where her drive is just dried up. It's done, right? There's things that can be happening that have nothing to do with cheating, but she's telling him, hey, here's how I respect that this could be a problem for you. So I'm gonna slide this little notion.
And I'm gonna disagree with this 1,000,000%. She is cheating. She is cheating.
You always think people cheating, though.
Yes, I do, and most of the time I'm right. She is cheating. She is cheating. She is cheating. This woman is so clearly cheating. She might as well have just said, "Hey, dude, you ain't the only one." She literally went into descriptive details. That was a little descriptive, lady, don't you think? I want to do it. She wants to do it because she is doing it. This lady is definitely cheating. She's definitely she got something to do on the side, and she's telling you, hey, I ain't gonna file for divorce. So if you cheat, hey, if you go with some other woman, no harm, no foul, because I'm pretty much doing the same thing.
And I have to concede that part of what you just said does make good sense, because I forgot that piece where she said she wishes she could do it. So that means she does still have a drive. She just ain't got no drive for him. So she could very well be cheating.
Right.
Either way, y'all need to go see somebody or just go ahead and call this thing and call it a day.
Emma?
I was a little confused as to whether she just told him or if she had told him that long time ago.
It sounded like on the way down for a vacation, she told him that. And then during the vacation, that situation in the bed happened. At least that's how I took it.
Oh, what man want to hear that? Oh, you rejected me. Well,
I mean, it sucks to be rejected sometimes, but you know what? Unless she's rejecting you all the time, sometimes she just don't want to.
I mean, I get that part, but I'm building up everything that she said plus that situation. I'm like, yeah, this girl is stepping out.
Go ahead, Anna.
Oh, sorry, Anna.
No, I'm not really convinced that she's doing more than just talking about it. There's too little information. From my experience, it absolutely could be true. Because I know a lot of couples that make a lot of different negotiations. And people, yes, do change over time. Just chemically. But I don't know, it just was suspicious that you just be bringing that up now. I don't know.
Okay. Here's the reason why we'll go in last. Leaning in a little bit so y'all don't miss a word that I'm saying. This is why I'm going to say nah to this video. And I'm speaking solely about me. If other guys out there can catch on to it, other women, if we reversing everything and catch on to it.
I'm assuming you're LGBTQ until you
can catch on to it, so be it. If my significant other, out of the blue, because I'm going by his writing, okay? We're not going to add no dialogue and anything like that. If my wife out of the blue start talking about, you know what, I don't think prostitution is really cheating. It's like the reason that if you ain't pulling over to the damn shoulder here and now and going, what the fuck did you just say? Because let me start back from the original statement I just said, from out of the blue. Like, we wasn't discussing anything to the realm where it just popped in your head. You just decided to tell me some whim that just popped in your head. Like, what the fuck is we doing here? Why are you thinking that? And why do you feel like we talking about there's some damn nice weather? Yeah, it's cheating. I don't give a damn what you think. And Anna, I get what you said. You have changed my mind on a lot of toxic things that I have thought throughout my life. I truly appreciate you. Yeah, this ain't no damn negotiation. Go fuck somebody else is cheating. We're done.
Period. So this late relationship, yes.
Yeah, because she set it up too easily. She
early,
set it up.
Early, late, whenever it happens, you can't take a traditionalist and a whatever that is and it line up. Like you don't, I'm not saying, and I'll say whatever that is not like as a derogatory thing. I'm just saying it's not the traditionalist approach.
You don't have a label for it because it came from out of the fucking blue. You literally
No,
just
that's not. No, Marlon. That's not what I'm saying.
you said traditionalists,
Uh-huh.
and we've been with Anna for 3 years, going on 4 in March. Keep that in mind. We've been with Anna for almost 4 years. Yeah, 4 years go March. For 4 years, we have categorized a lot of things that we just go. Uh, you can't categorize what the hell she just said.
Actually, I mean,
you can if she had started like that from the beginning.
Funny, but it's absolutely correct.
Yeah,
you just
wait.
I'm the car that you don't think going to screw a damn prostitute is not cheating. It's the equivalent of screwing a piece of plastic.
Then she added, "I want to translate."
Wait. It's what Tracy just said is the distinction. So like a prostitute, break the two words apart. It's hard to do it visually. I mean mentally, but if you were writing it down, you can see it. You take prostitute, break it apart, PRO, and then institute. You got a professional substitute. That's what a prostitute is doing, right? So if you have a mutual agreement that you don't think that prostitution is a crime, that's one level of the discussion. And then if you feel that prostitution is not a crime and it's not socially taboo or negative, that's another level of the conversation. And then you got the next level that says that engaging with a prostitute is not cheating because you're just going to someone for a professional service. That's a whole nother level of the conversation. The problem here is she went from the bottom one to the top one on a side conversation rolling down the road with her significant other, who is obviously more of a traditionalist. And I'm not even saying that as a negative. Like there's those conservatives that are out here somewhere. And then you got traditionalists somewhere in the middle out here. And then you got, like I said, whatever this is, because it's on some level of the spectrum that way, right? They don't match. You know, that's the problem.
Yeah, obviously,
it's not what she believes. They don't match.
I hate to say this. I gotta agree with Marlon on this one. It just don't. Out of the blue, my man gonna tell you know. I think
we're gonna have a fight for real.
We go. Sir.
Yeah,
no,
absolutely.
we gonna pull over, and I'm gonna get out this car, and I'm walking home, and you might as well.
No.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
That level of the conversation wasn't enough for me. I mean, that'd be a bad move because I'll let you walk. But
you gonna sit there and tell me you're gonna bring another woman, and I'm gonna be okay with it, and I'm gonna still stay.
Nobody's saying that, Tracy.
That's the situation I just set up.
I'm saying that at this point, if you are in a relationship, all right, if you're in a relationship, then you have to argue through some things. You don't just poof.
But
I
set up the context as if he said, "Let's bring in another woman," I'm gone.
Oh no, I agree with you.
That's the way I said it.
But I ain't getting out the car walking. You gonna take me home? I mean, you gonna hurt yourself?
You said he comes out of his mouth and says something wrong to you.
I'm gone. I'm gone.
I'm gonna walk miles home. Like, okay.
And then I bet you have the audacity. You would have the unmitigated gall to then get home. He's sitting there in front of the TV watching it because you know he get home in a third of the time it takes you. So he's sitting in front of the TV watching TV, and you come in, and you'll be mad at him because he lets you walk.
No, it was my choice to walk.
Yeah, right.
And of course, I got Uber on my phone, so I know how to press the button.
You can't go with a somewhat irrational argument and then at the end say I'm gonna be completely rational. Oh, hello! I'm just here to pack up my things.
I'm not.
Don't mind me.
Because first of all, I'm gonna change the locks, and he's not getting in.
How? He got home before. He got home before you.
Oh yeah.
And if you change the locks, on your partner, even if you married, or in this case they married, so you definitely got a problem. You change the locks on him, but you change the locks on your roommate, you got a problem. And all because you having an emotional response to something you don't agree with.
Of course, I'm having an emotional response.
He gonna have your butt in court, suing the brakes off of you because you denied him access to his home place.
I wasn't having an emotional response.
Tracy, I'm gonna say this real quick.
I'm just saying consequences come with that.
Where it's gonna go, I understand where it's gonna go, but I have to just go ahead and just say it. Tracy, there is no marriage on the face of the planet where you're not going to have an argument.
I never said that.
No, you have in some,
but not in
way.
This instance.
Yeah, but in this instance, yeah, too. Because what you
want to bring up a side chick is not an argument. I'm not playing that.
And that's my point. In every instance, me and Thiz is saying we're not gonna play it. We gonna have this discussion right here or right now. We gonna have it out. Cause what you said is blah blah blah. Whatever it is, you keep going. No, I'm not gonna have it, so I'm out. Like,
I mean, at the end of the story, we end up in the same place. This is over, okay? Because we're too far apart. Too far apart. This ain't. There's some
things I'm not gonna discuss.
We're not arguing is prostitution legal. We're not arguing is prostitution moral. We are arguing its place in our relationship,
argument is,
and then the alienation of affection without explanation.
And then
you put all that in one pot, you got a mess.
I'm not arguing. I guess what I'm pretty much gonna stand. To me, I never said there'd be no arguments in relationships. Heck, I've had it out with each of you here. So I expect arguments, but again, there are some things I'm not gonna back down. I'm not backing down. I don't care. I'll just shut it down, and I'm not gonna fight with you. I'm not gonna discuss with you. I ain't gonna have nothing with you. I'm just gonna shut up. That's me. Is that the mature response? Maybe not. But I'm telling you how I would react.
I will take that on the chin, because it's not like I put stories on this show where it's a misunderstanding. No, I put some stuff over here like, bro.
That's a whole we can
has already said she has a boundary, and were a husband to out of the blue.
She changed right up on him. He was expecting one thing, and then if you slept with a woman, what the bleep am I gonna tell my man? Yeah, just go ahead and sleep with. I'm gonna be right here. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I will not.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I will kind of look at you sideways, like.
Yeah, that's that Foxy told you. Yeah, Marlon, go out there and sleep with all them women. I'll be right here. No, she won't.
First of all, ew. Second, and it ain't got nothing to do with prostitution. It got everything to do with another woman.
I'm not saying you're thinking that way, but if she came to you with such a silly proposition, you should be like, what's wrong with you? Because she's doing it herself. Ultimately, this woman is cheating. That's the ultimate part.
But you don't know that part for
she set it up.
This is the part where I push back. These are my fantasies. This is the part where I push back just a tiny bit on Tracy and Thea. Either she already is cheating,
yes,
or she's setting you up to cheat,
which is still cheating.
This is just a soft blow.
Or
if you catch her with another man,
she already said
it's not cheating.
It is
not the same thing. No, that's not what she did. That's not what she did.
She set it up like, I don't think prostitution is illegal.
This is what she did. She has either one. I'm sorry, Anna, go ahead. Oh, she has either one, set up the permission structure for him to get the physical outlet that he needs. That's one option. Or two, she has now signaled something that has been on her mind, and she's floating it to see how he receives it. Right? Or three, she's going to consider this as something that's coming, but she's not doing it yet. We can't say that she is already cheating because we don't have enough information, first of all. And then second of all, she didn't say that because she said, before you do anything, the other person needs to know. So she already created the preset to this. So it's not that she can just run out and go get her a prostitute. She said, according to her rules, that she would have to tell him first. So it's not. It's not. I mean, I'm not saying it's good. I'm talking about for a person like me, the relationship is done, right? Because I don't even want to
And he
entertain that in
told her,
my framework.
he told her this makes me uncomfortable. And then when he tried to be intimate with her, she turned him down. So cheater,
But that's no, because
cheater.
first of all, I have a problem as a man. I have a problem with men thinking that they have 100% free access to their woman's body at
No,
any
I didn't
given
say
time.
that.
But that's what you just intimated because you said because she denied him that, then she's cheating. No, she didn't want to have that. It's her body, and in that moment, she didn't want to do that thing. That's a separate issue. If
Yeah,
they want to debate that issue, they should have that
I
debate.
literally get
But
what
it's
you're saying
different.
is, but that is some really bad timing. Like you
Sure
cannot sit
is.
there
It
and
Real
say,
bad.
is.
like,
It's
you talk
terrible
about
Real
timing.
bad. Yeah, you
constitution,
tell him,
and then
oh,
But
say,
life doesn't happen on your schedule. Life simply doesn't happen on your schedule.
"That's happening
So
on my
if you don't like this scenario that she has now introduced into the consciousness of your relationship, then check in or check out. What you gonna do? This is where we at right now, right? But don't sit there and pretend like you know what I'm saying. Now you're gonna hold her to some imaginary thing, and that's her fault. Her fault is introducing something that makes the other person insecure and feel unsafe in the relationship.
and he
That
definitely
was her fault. But I'm not even just playing devil's advocate. I'm just trying to be realistic about how people are complicated, and this is an uncomfortable topic. So she probably thought this was the safest of the outcomes she could think of a moment to float it, like just float it. Let's see how he deals with it, and it didn't go so well.
I wondered how she thought he was supposed to
floated that
take it.
thing like a tidal wave,
I don't
man.
think she thought it through. I think it was on her mind. She presented it as a non-confrontational way as she
There's
could by creating the outlet for him to envision himself, not her, but himself taking advantage of this
there's
to
one thing
float
in
it. That's how. I mean,
there's
come
one
on, I'm
thing
just
in
being realistic
fantasy.
here.
Like I had fantasies of this, and this happening. But the way she presented it, oh nah, sis girl. This is why I'm presented it as cheating. This is why
I'm
I'm
gonna pull
presenting it
I
as
Tracy.
agree.
cheating.
I
It would be
literally,
cheating. In my world, that'd be cheating, which is why the relationship wouldn't work. But it doesn't change her
I'm gonna
motivation
pull
for
a
how she got
Tracy.
there.
I hate to agree with Tracy. This does not sound like this was a part of her that just wanted to share what she was
Yeah, I'm
doing.
just gonna
It sounds
my
like a damn
fantasy.
speech that she was
Yeah,
practicing,
let me
telling
prepare
him.
him. Let me tell him.
Like she went into the whole dialogue about fantasies and all this other stuff. It ain't like,
Yes.
you know what? This
I mean,
song that
Did y'all, anytime y'all were in a relationship, any relationship you've been, not even just necessarily the one you're in right now, has every disclosure of personal nature or anything like that come at a scheduled moment? Did you say, hey, on Tuesday at 5 o'clock,
oh,
let's
she
sit
was
down
wondering if
and go through
she.
our emotional proclivities?
I agree.
No, stuff happens
I agree with you
weird.
that she set it up for the car conversation because that would be, them driving to a romantic interlude would be. I don't know why she would thought that would have been a good time to have, but
Wasn't the
hey, what
best
it is.
decision, but it makes sense why it would
Yeah, because
happen.
you're on a long trip, you're there for a few hours, blah blah blah. But again, there's a difference between a fantasy, you know, handcuffs, whatever. That's one thing. But then the way she set up, nah, this is why I'm
I
leaning
agree.
towards
But
treating.
that's what I'm saying. Like we agree in that this is not a good thing. But what we do, where we disagree is making her a villain because she didn't. I mean, like, what would be the best way for her to have brought that up? Like, literally, what would have been the best way for her to bring that up?
never.
Now, thank you,
So then
Marlon.
you want your
I want
partner
Marlon
to
on
only
this one.
disclose to you that which you find acceptable.
No, I want my partner to disclose to me, and I apologize. I should have said never, but I'd rather her start
Because
this
that's what never
conversation
does.
off in a not on vacation, not on a romantic vacation,
A romantic
not rolling
vacation.
down the
Yeah, let's
street and everything else. We can sit here and we can have a discussion where I walk up to you and go, you know what? There's something that's been on my mind and I want to share it with you. So can we discuss it?
And when would be the best time for that?
She acting like
This lady
Just
planned this whole
oh
thing.
my God,
When
the rap song Tootsie Roll, and it just reminded me about something that's been on my mind. So let's
that's
talk about it.
like, bro, that's like when people talk about someone coming clean about being unfaithful. You waited until my birthday weekend, or you waited until just after my third cousin's niece's nephew was in surgery. When is the right time to put out something that could possibly be devastating? Like,
First of all,
when?
it's birthday month.
Yeah, the whole
No,
month.
I'm sorry. Sorry,
The
bro. That's some
month.
female stuff right there. Sorry, y'all. I know that sounds sexist because it is.
I am
That's some girl
female.
stuff right there.
I
I
am
know,
a
but
girl.
Marlon ain't. But
I'm like, I am a girl. What are you talking about? The whole month.
I get it. But what I'm saying is, but now, okay, so let's say the birthday month. You waited until my birthday month to say something like that? You just blocked the whole month out of the calendar and no bad news can come to you? Like,
but then what I'm thinking is though, you as an individual, and you've been with this person for a while, you know their how their reaction is going to be, but you really feel like you're in the right and you just want to get your point across. Now, there is
this
a
ain't
time.
about her being in the right.
No, I'm not saying she's in the right. No.
This is just her speaking her truth.
No,
Yeah,
I'm going by what you're saying, the timing of it. There is a great timing to certain things. And you need to think as an individual, is this the right time to do it? How the person take it, which is what you're doing, is going, why would you tell me this because my cousin's niece, nephew,
he gonna say that anytime.
I'm saying that because that's what y'all were doing. Like, literally, that's what y'all were doing.
No, I was saying you as a
You
person,
want the information on your terms. You've even basically expressed it multiple times in this. Whatever you want to tell me, make sure you give it to me on my terms. You've done it in this conversation. You've done it in other conversations. And it's not a bad thing. It's just the way you roll. But
you're putting it on the same person, and I'm telling you, you need to split it. Okay, here's the example. Here is the prime example. Okay, if you cheated, you're not going to tell your significant other you cheated at somebody's funeral. You're not going to say you cheated at their birthday party. You're not going to say you cheated at somebody else's birthday party. You get the gist.
When on the calendar is the proper time?
Let me finish. But at some point, you sit them down and you say, I cheated. Your job is over, and that's what you're missing.
But when is the scheduled time to do this, Marlon?
I tell you when it's not. When you
is it a week after? Is it a month after?
It's not when you go on a romantic weekend. I know that much.
What I'm saying, because that's why I'm saying you're not letting me finish because that's what's mixing you up. When you tell the person I cheated on you, and they accepted that you cheated on them, but then they go towards, how dare you tell me that you cheated on me 3 weeks after my birthday? Now, I'm not the one that's on the schedule. They took it as the scheduling issue instead of saying you cheated on me, which, whatever. They took
I'm sorry, I'm missing that part.
Okay.
I'm not tracking. I apologize.
It's never a good time to tell somebody that you cheated on.
Let's go with your
no matter when. I mean, it's never gonna be a good time, but you have to tell them. You owe it to them. You have to. There's no way you can get around it.
So if I was to say,
okay, how about this? Wait. Would you say that because her focus has shifted in the way that it's been shared in the story, would you say that is something that she needed to disclose to him?
Yes.
Okay. That being said, when would be the permissible time, and what two pieces? When would be the permissible time, and what interval of time would be considered too long between when she came to that decision and when she shared it with him? Because see, both of those run at the same time.
After the vacation.
I'm just saying, don't do it on a
Would it be the week before the vacation?
I would say.
Would it be the week after the vacation?
Couple weeks before.
I said after the vacation.
I'm saying before.
Okay. So let's say I'm just walking through like a thought exercise how my brain works, right? So we say Don't tell me that before the vacation. Don't tell me that during the vacation. Tell me that after the vacation.
After the
Okay, so
vacation.
now 2, 3 days, a week after the vacation, you drop this on me. It's still gonna be
Mhm.
devastating when you drop it.
Okay.
Okay. Still gonna be devastating when you drop this on me. So you drop this
Yes.
on me a week, 2 weeks after.
Yes.
Now I'm like, wait a minute. So you had this in your mind,
Wait a minute. Whoa.
and
Stop
this is
right,
what you
stop
think.
right, stop right where you are. Stop right
It's
there.
never gonna be.
No, not that, Tracy. Stop right there. Who said that? Did she say
The one who's getting the bad news.
Thank you.
It's always gonna be bad news to them,
Thank
no matter
you.
when they get it.
All
No
I'm
matter
I
saying
when.
agree,
is
but
for you to
if you
live,
wait, you done had a passionate weekend with me, and then you drop this mess on me, I'm gonna be offended from that. You tell me before we go, I'm gonna be offended from that. You tell me on the way there, I'm gonna be offended from that. There is
So
no
you
good
want me not
time
to
to give
tell
me
you?
this. No, I want you to tell me. What I'm saying is that there's no right time, there's no best time to tell me. So you need to tell me as soon as this thing comes up. Because
Now
either
that
way, this is a relationship
I
ending
agree with
situation.
that. Okay, I
This
can agree with
I
that.
deserve the right to make a decision for myself what I will tolerate for my life. So I don't if it happen if it occurs to you on a road trip down, I need to know now. I don't need to know after it's more convenient for you to tell me. Right? Don't deprive me of the opportunity and the right to dictate my path. That's what I'm kind of getting at. She has every right. She can do any math she wants to on when she wants to do it, when she doesn't do it. All that's in her purview. But as she makes that decision, is she robbing me of my right? It strong digression, but it's in a way just so it can be really really obvious. It's like if you're dating someone and that person is transgender, when is the right time for that person to disclose it to you? Most people would say up front before we even start dating, before we even go on a date, because it's a topic that would be of concern for the average person. But then there's also those who would say, we're not even at the stage of doing anything physical. We're just enjoying each other's company. So it's irrelevant. And I don't need to bring it up right now. Why should I put myself on the scarlet letter every day I walk out the door? Right. And then there's the other one that will say, well, before we get intimate is when you need to disclose that to me because you can't deprive me of the right to decide if I'm gay, straight, or into trans. Right. Three completely different things, but which one is right? I would say it depends. But personally, for me, Theus, you need to tell me that when we first start talking, before we even start going on dates and all that, because it's going to be a concern for the typical person. So I fall in slot A. But everybody doesn't function like me. So I
well,
don't know.
we have to get into piggybacking off of things. So I take accountability as when I would want to know and how I will want to know and everything else, but that's individual. It's you've been with your significant other long enough that you should know if there's some stuff that you gonna tell them that's gonna kick up some dust. When's the appropriate time to tell them? Tell them before an important event. Tell them after an important event. You should know. And maybe I put too much personal thought into it because I'm still thinking of myself pulling over to the shoulder and we're gonna have this out. Most people would just roll with it and just keep driving and talking. I don't know. That's not me. But I just feel a whole bunch of state troopers pulling up behind me going, are you okay? We gonna have this out on the side of the road before we get to wherever it is that we going. But again, that is me. As with what Tracy is saying, from that point of view, since I am an individual, then we're gonna figure this thing out as an individual. How are we gonna handle this moving forward as an individual and now with knowledge of pulling in Anna now of changes in our relationship. Please understand, either it's acceptance, anger, or loss.
Or avoidance.
Or avoidance. I mean, just be prepared for one of those four things to happen. Because one of those four has to happen. It's just no way around that.
Well, one of the points I was trying to hit is that I would really like if people could just think one step beyond that first step, right? It's very easy and it's actually convenient or comfortable for us to relate to how it would feel when we receive such kind of information. But take it one more step, just take it one more step and say that person who's giving us this information, good, bad, or indifferent, how did they get there? Right? Because that's how you show empathy. And that's also how you can prepare yourself for information that you don't always like, or you may actually like, and you just haven't experienced it yet. So just that one extra step, it costs us nothing to say, wow, what she just said to me is really jacked up. It's upsetting me and all of these different things. But what does it mean to her? Right? And now you can figure out how we got here. If where we got here means we got to break up, then we got to break up. But you're not just breaking up off of your side. You're breaking off of a real understanding of the whole situation. And I just think that we do ourselves a disservice when we don't take it that next step.
Right.
Do you know
And that only applies to spouses. I don't do that for girlfriends.
Whose last names he does not know.
Whose last names he does not know.
Contact the queer community with, am I strange? Am I not wired right? And it took them years and years to get to this point of being honest with themselves that, hey, maybe there's something I'm not getting out of this. Plus, there's also a lot more information available about different love styles. If you are so against anyone else entering your relationship, then, like Tracy said, that's going to come up pretty much right away.
I would counter that should be a default.
But if you're into a polyamorous relationship, which is not for me, ain't gonna never be for me. But if that's your thing,
but I'm saying,
be upfront about, hey, that's your
default. There's a default setting. I am dating a person that I don't really know yet. So let's err on the side of caution and go with, we all just need to be honest and one-to-one. Yep. And then we move from there, right? Oh, well, I think that, love takes different forms, right? Yeah. But you start here because it's the most common place you can land, and then have you want to be with somebody, you owe it to you and them to have a conversation.
Yeah, don't be pulling up. We drive in the car.
Each other.
Yeah, let's bring somebody else in. Nah, we ain't.
I think that's the better way to put it. Explore each other. You want to have a relationship with somebody. Explore each other. Right? Mm-hmm. Don't make the assumptions and all that. The only assumptions that I believe that you should walk into a relationship with is that we owe each other honesty. And unfortunately, in today's world, people don't even believe that. But I believe you owe each other honesty, right? And then from there, you can move. Pick your direction.
But don't be alone.
And I'm sorry, Ann, I spoke over you again, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, she set that up real nice because I still think she's cheating.
Oh boy. Anna, you got anything else?
Not that I can cook together right now. So,
All right. Hey, we're doing pretty good. Foxy's videos of the week. Okay, this question is to Anna. There's a lot of things that I can literally only take from a Black's perspective. Then, if I have to explain that to you, I'm not. So, is this a Black thing or is it an everyday thing? I'm not going to take anybody down because it's like 20 seconds. Black people, when they get really, really good food,
Mom. Ah. Thank you.
That isn't like in every family thing, but if you really enjoy food, yeah. You start to sound like you're making love to that piece of pizza.
I haven't done that. At least I don't remember ever doing that. But to say that I have never seen it, I've seen it. Like I've literally seen some people who go into the corner and just like breathe it all hard. I'm like, do you need a moment? You need a room. Like, which one you need, brother? It's good. I'll give that to you, but I don't know where we're going with this. So,
What slice of pizza did you eat?
that heavily breathing just sounds so uncomfortable.
Idiot.
It kind of do. It. All right, next video.
I'll have what she's having.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Harry met Sally.
And Harry met Sally. Yep.
All right, next video, which I said that I am going to start showcasing a lot of talented individuals out there. I don't know if somebody sent this to me or not. If you did send it to me, just let me know, or I discovered it myself. Fine, whatever. But if you did send it to me, let me know. Street artists in Brazil.
Street artist from Brazil has captured the hearts of fans worldwide with his murals that celebrate the Afro hairstyles of women and girls. In his works, Fabio seamlessly integrates paintings with deciduous trees, where leaves and flowers transform into diverse and voluminous strands of hair. He utilizes fences as canvases, weaving graffiti with human faces and expressive hairstyles into them. Such creations craft voluminous illusions, imparting a unique and picturesque character to ordinary places.
That was
That was That was phenomenal. That is, first of all, let me say this. Street artists has always been my favorite artist because we're not talking about a canvas on what we see in museums. We're talking about buildings, walls, trains. We're talking about the ability to not only paint something that's beautiful or meaningful or whatever, but you have to have the view of seeing it by inches. You're not going to be able to see when you're on a regular canvas. You have the whole canvas in front of you. You know where this goes with this, and this goes with this, and this goes with this. But let's face it, it's still a canvas. So you know the vision that you want is still in an area that's right dead smack in front of you. When we're talking about a building wall, I don't know what vision that could possibly take to do something like that. I just don't. But it takes tremendous amount of talent. This dude right here who decided I can paint a canvas using nature. That's it. Nature. Every year when them trees bloom leaves, my canvas again comes to life. I'm not gonna make the joke of that's gonna look kind of weird when them leaves fall off, but every year when it blooms, though, it's gonna look really, really good. And it does look really, really good. Why is everybody so doggone quiet?
Because you were talking, dude.
Okay, let's just all talk over him so he can make him feel like he's at home.
I know. I talk over people so much, you just don't know what to do when I'm being quiet. I'm sorry.
Yes. Every time you get quiet, I keep thinking, okay, look, y'all. Look. All of y'all fucking wrong. So let me try it. And I'm like, dang it.
You tell us to be quiet, and then when we're quiet, you want us not to be quiet. Make up your mind.
Hey, I'm used to it. Look, what you can't do is condition me into one way.
But did you not say? What did you not say?
You told us to be on our better behavior, so we trying.
One time in my life.
He said stay more to the topic. He didn't.
Right.
Been over the whole first hour.
Trying to be in better behavior. But okay, so with this here, I think that's also what Marlon said was really cool about the street art, improvisational art, things like that. It goes back to what I've continued to say about undiscovered talent and underutilized genius. But then there's also there's a line. There is a line, right? So don't go around defacing people's private property because you got a creative moment, right? Your juices are flowing, and it ain't yours. Don't go around defacing people's property. But
without
I also that's the big piece right there. Because like when I'm able to start accumulating properties and buying up, business properties in areas, that is one of the things I fully intend to do is encourage local artists to come, and we'll have certain building sides. You see when you go to like old towns, especially like old white towns, they'll have like the wagon is painted on the side of the building, it's still there, stuff like that. They did it. It's just criminal when we do it. So
it's graffiti.
It's graffiti when we do it, but that's because you didn't own it. So having that, because I envision having like a mural that has Kwame Ture, Martin Luther King, and Malcolm X on the same mural. I envision having Fannie Lou Hamer and on her own, right? I envision having an opportunity so when children and the local residents are just riding down the road, living their normal life, they can see their ancestors looking back at them, right? We're constantly inundated with other people's ancestors. We're not really having ours looking back at us, So I want to see that. I definitely would say do stuff like that. Just make sure you have permission or you own it.
A lot of cases, artists of those caliber are asked to come to specific places, and the planning for it is phenomenal. The marrying art and nature is incredibly hard. Nature goes to, think you got a rule, she'll find the exception. So, just incredible what that young man is doing.
All right, everybody, 2 more. We're out of here. This is for all the relationships. This is just a suggestion. Learn to play the game. If you're happy in it, and there are some things that just pop up that irritates you and everything, don't make it bigger than what it is. So, yeah, this video is basically telling you learn how to play the game.
Babe, how are you always so cool, calm, and collected? Like, so nonchalant. How is that possible?
Well, baby, I don't involve myself in stupid conversations. And if I felt like it was stupid, I just say you right.
What? That doesn't make any sense at all, actually.
Why don't it?
Because why would you hear something that you don't agree with and it's stupid and then just be like, you right? Like, what?
You know what, baby? You right.
I'm always right, babe. And I always put you on.
You do. You do. You hungry?
Yes.
What you want to eat?
What you want to eat?
Guess.
Chick-fil-A?
You hit it right on the nail, baby.
I told you I'm always right.
Okay, well, let's go.
All right, come on.
That was exaggerated for effect, but yeah, I'll be real with you, especially ladies. If y'all aren't aware, a lot of your men do this, and fellas, quiet as kept, your women been doing this to you since the beginning, right? So, you know what I'm saying? Dudes like to think that, yeah, I don't even, because I'll channel myself. Be like, man, I don't even argue. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she's saying something that doesn't make sense, but it don't really matter in the big thing, I don't even care, man. I just be like, okay, you got it. Okay, right? You heard me say something similar because it's true. That's how I roll, right? I ain't gonna argue with you with stuff that I don't think really matters. But guess what? The funny thing is, I'm fully aware that women do the same thing. In fact, they do it on a whole nother level. I call it soft power. Like, your lady she can't beat you physically, but you ever notice almost everything you do with the outcome in mind of will it make her happy? Will it take care of her? Will it get me into another argument? Will I have peace? That is a level of control that they're using as well. So I need people to find a way to respect each other, because we both got our hustles, and this is how relationships manage themselves. Now this little skit was like I said, it was done in a short form to draw out that particular dynamic. But yeah, do it all the time. I need to do that one he did with the food though. I gotta try that one.
Yeah, the food. I'm gonna tell you.
I gotta try that one.
Like y'all spouses don't never watch the show. They'll never watch it. Hear you saying that.
My wife don't watch this.
And Foxy don't watch this.
Even if she did, I mean, we've had the conversation. I got a house full of ladies. I'm a girl dad, and I'm married. Now my kids, okay, so out of the 2 who live in the house, one will tell you what she wants to eat. The other one don't ever know what she want to eat. And then my wife don't ever know what she wants to eat. But I know what all of them eat. So it works. I just figure out what I'm going to do, and then I'll do the math in my head. Okay, well, this time we'll do this because last time I did that, and blah, 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 blah. Make sure I'm getting each one occasionally what they want, but it all fits what I want because I'm paying for it and I got to go get it. Right. So it's just what we do. But yeah, I like that Jordan. He was like, well, what do you want to eat? And she's like, what do you want to eat? And he's like, yes. And then she picked something. Yeah, that's it. But I can tell my wife yes, and we still ain't getting nowhere.
The greatest time of my life.
Just tell her grits.
Is
I don't eat grits. Grits are disgusting.
No, absolutely not. We finna get on a conversation about food. No, not between you two. Absolutely not. The greatest moments of my life has been when I don't have a taste for anything. It's very small. It is. It's very small. So when I have all the ladies here, so my wife, my 3 daughters, and we're discussing where we're going to go eat, I can leave the room. So when they just discuss among themselves where they want to eat, and then they tell me, here's what we're going to eat, cool. I don't need to put myself in the middle of it. One, I'm outnumbered. Let's call it the way it is. Fellas, if you think you're not outnumbered when you have 4 women against you, you are. Or you're hard.
That didn't mean you ain't doing it right.
Yeah.
That didn't mean you ain't doing it right.
Or you hard-headed, you just want to. It ain't worth it, dude. Just let that crap go. Let it go.
Nah, you got to get one of them on your team, dog. You got to have somebody on your team so they already advocating when you're not in the room.
I'm 51 years old. I ain't got that energy no more, man. Let's
you raise them that way. My middle child will always cape for me. Always. And the baby will think about, well, what will make daddy happy? That means I got 2 voices in the room at any time.
Pitting them against their mother. They'll wow, Steve. Keep it classy.
He is what hates grits. That's grits are disgusting.
But do grits float though? Yep. No, Parker, they don't.
They do until they turn into plastic.
We are literally fit to move on. We are not going to get into a food debate.
There is no debate. I'm right.
Got to be all the way to the end, don't you?
I'm sorry, what happened?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing at all. Food that floats. Last video of the night. Also showing talent. But in a different sense of the matter. I'm going to tell you the story. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, never judge a book by its cover. Anna's going to enjoy it. Tracy's not going to understand. Me and Theus is going to like it, and we're going to have content to it.
How are you going to just automatically say I'm not going to understand it?
You're not going to like it. But you never judge a book by its cover. This is the reason why I love the younger generation.
So a couple things.
We got to go to work
Okay.
tomorrow, Thieves, so you know.
I know. Couple things. There is a case to be made about cultural appropriation, which I would say does not fit this video. To me, this was more of a respect and mutual admiration for a particular style. She did amazing with it, and you could tell that she really practices and hones her craft. And the fact that she kind of rolling solo out there lets you know that this is her crew. These are the people she rolls with. This is who she is, right? So I think that was mad cool. Then the other side though is, would this video have gotten the level of attention that I'm sure that it's gotten if the black child was doing the exact same dance that is native to our community already? So you end up with that dynamic that's always playing against itself, right? Like Eminem, incredible rapper, incredible lyricist. You know, now granted, the original Eminem, the Marshall Mathers, who was putting people in garbage bags and all that stuff. Now that dude was weird, okay? But but it's because he was a white rapper out of Detroit that he was able to overcome the oddity of his original release and then have an opportunity to grow into the Eminem Marshall Mathers that we know today. Most black rappers who had that type of a launch, right? So that would be like who is it that came out? 3D, the Dirty Dozen, right? Which was part of Eminem's musical family. The Dirty Dozen were also kind of like that, but they never got a chance to recover from their original style of coming out. Now, Dirty Dozen, black, Eminem, white. So there's certain privileges that Eminem gets just because he's operating in a space that he's not expected to be in. But then as an individual, he never was disrespectful to the culture. You can tell he truly believes in what he does. And he's a professional and he's really dedicated to his craft. That's what I would say with this video, what this young lady says back to me as well. So it's like, it's not a clean discussion. You can come at it either way. And I think both ways would be right.
The only pushback that I would put on what you're saying, not really a pushback, it's just a different way of saying it, because I agree with what you're saying. And once I finish, you'll see that I am agreeing with what you're saying. For every Eminem that we have a Vanilla Ice. Vanilla Ice.
What's wrong with Vanilla Ice?
Because you could tell that Vanilla Ice was a white rapper that we knew was going to be commercial. There was more tuned into bringing in the more white group into it. Eminem was not. Eminem wants to be a rapper. He attuned himself along with some of the best rappers on the planet because he wanted to be a rapper. He was white, but that wasn't his course of action, that he wants to be a rapper. Vanilla Ice, I want to say Beastie Boys, but I quite honestly have absolutely no idea what their trajectory was at all, because at one point it was like, yeah, we could say they was white rappers. Then it was like commercial white rappers, which at a point they were. Then we could go, yeah, you didn't even want to be American commercial white rappers. You just wanted money. Because by the tail end of their career, if they still have a career, it was like, you had like 4 or 5 more albums after you disappeared out of America. Never knew that.
Well, here's the thing I would say about them, and I love that. That was an excellent example to use. So, like Eminem, he gets a lot of credit because of the way he came up. He was, selling CDs out the trunk. Nobody knew who he was, scraping, trying to earn his respect to be able to get noticed, right? So there's a certain level of credibility that he has lent because he did come up a harder way to get to being recognized, right? Vanilla Ice, He was a commercial artist, right? He was basically the white alternative to MC Hammer. That's kind of like that's how they kind of gave us a Vanilla Ice in a way. Ooh, look at that white boy can dance, dress like Hammer, move like Hammer, right? He was, it's kind of like the Elvis experience, right? So he was purely a created thing, right? But he was also, I mean, he did a good job, but he was actually a rocker who did some rap. His passion was always in rock and in the grunge side of things, but he was able to build a career over there. So he did that, right? He was, for me, on one level, especially at that level, they're entertainers. So I'm not going to get mad at Denzel Washington for playing an action role and then turn around and doing a romantic comedy, right? I mean, he's an entertainer, so he's doing the entertaining thing, right? So there's a certain level of flexibility I allow. But then you have your Beastie Boys. To me, the Beastie Boys was like almost an amalgamation of all that, because they were on the ground floor of when hip hop was becoming more mainstream. They were an all white Jewish group. The labels and everything we all know is still held, were held, continue to be held by Jewish domination. So there's a side of them that was manufactured to come through. But then the other side that I would say for them is they truly were alternative. Even back then, they were alternative. Before we had a name for it, they were alternative. So they fit in that era of rap. But if they had come around in the 90s instead of the 80s, we would have called them alternative music. So music's is a tough one. Music's a tough one, to me.
I think then I'll leave it up to the ladies to finish off the show. I admire Eminem a lot more than all the others. Basically, for what you just said, I'm not taking anything off of Beastie Boys. I'm not taking anything off of Vanilla Ice. Hey, get what you can get. You got a certain talent, you gotta take advantage of it. Like, it is what it is. You ain't gonna like it, and we can sit there and wow, whatever. If that situation came up, you're not gonna think about social not reparation.
Representation.
Yeah.
I think you should, but you don't have to.
You should, but you're not. But Eminem was the one who literally just said, I literally want to be one of the greatest rappers, period. Now, I'm white, but I want to be one of the greatest rappers ever. So I'm going to surround myself with Dr. Dre, with Ice Cube, with Snoop Dogg. I'm going to surround myself with people who are not legends now, but who I deem will be legends in the future.
Man, all them people he attached himself to are already legends. Only one he didn't attach to was 50 Cent. Without Dre, Eminem's career would have stopped.
Whoa. 50 Cent is not a legend.
50 Cent, well, he is a legend now. But I'm just saying, when Eminem and 50 got together, 50 was not a legend. 50 was just the thing. He was the hot thing. And Eminem and him had a good relationship and a good friendship, and they found a way to do a good business thing together. But Dre is a legend.
Dre is a legend.
Snoop is a legend. Yep. So he attached to legends. Like you, just like you had said, they would become legends. No. These were legends that he was able to attach to, but mainly because of his position.
Was at the time he connected himself to it, they weren't. Because you got to realize when he connected himself with Dre, NWA was broke up for what, a year? Maybe 2?
What? You talking about Eminem?
Yes.
Marshall Mathers came out when I was in 7th grade. NWA was hitting when I was in like 3rd grade. Dre was already a legend when it came to producing way before Eminem managed to find his way to him in the early 2000s. Like Dre was
that when Eminem owed his starting career to Dre.
no. Eminem was his own thing well before Dre. Eminem was Marshall Mathers when he first came out. Because I remember I used to bump that really weird music because it was weird, y'all. But I used to bump that joint. He had nothing to do with Dre at that point. But when Dre took him on, because I think it was he went to Eminem and Dre around the same time because Dre was working with 50. I'm sorry, 50. But no, that was the second phase of Eminem. That was when Eminem blew up. Like
I got on to Eminem in the second phase.
Yeah.
Like I was with Eminem when he was with Dre. I don't know what happened way before Dre and Snoop.
Yeah, he had a whole career before that.
Before that was okay, so I'll take that back. I have no idea what happened before Dre, but I was introduced to Eminem on Dre album.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And even then, when I heard him, it was like, he was a background, which is funny to say, a background rapper. He was a background rapper. The next thing I know, when he came out with his first album, then it came out with, holy crap. And even then, because of Vanilla Ice, because of Beastie Boys, I sat there and said, okay, yeah, you got a good album. Congratulations. Whoop-de-doo. Not saying that I did not enjoy his first album, but skeptical. But when you put out a first album and it hits, a second album and it hits, a third album, and then you start looking at this personality, you start looking at his background, you start looking at everything in the background, you realize, whoa, this dude is really living what he's saying.
What I'm getting at is he had already been in the game for like 10 years by the time you noticed him. And he was already a known rapper. He was a known quantity. Like he wasn't like an undiscovered. But Dre is that dude. I mean, you think about it. Dre gave us Snoop. Dre gave us 50. Dre gave us him. I mean, Dre is that dude, right? So it's if you have the opportunity and you have the talent, and in this particular case, both of those came together for him, and you have the ability, the energy to take advantage of it, yeah, you can do great things.
Yeah. Well, I'm really proud, and I get what you're saying, that reparations of Black culture.
Appropriation.
I knew I wasn't saying that right. Appropriation of Black culture is not as easy as, and yeah, I'm gonna blow you up because I can't stand you people. No, Tracy hates me saying that, but you people who go on Instagram or TikTok, learn a Black culture's dance move, go on Instagram/TikTok and tell them that they stole your dance move to get them banned so you can put your little lame ass version of the dance on and keep it on. Yeah, I don't like y'all at all. And you can tell the difference. You really can tell the difference. You can tell the difference between, that's why, and I'm not even trying to be insulting when I say stuff like this. When you looked at that young lady dancing, the first thing that popped out of your mouth is skinny white girl. Well, guess what? That skinny white girl bust your ass. Because she put
I'm not following, bro.
Let me finish. Jeez. She put in the work to get where she was at to make that video. You people on YouTube and TikTok, y'all learn one little step or one little phrase and then go, this was our dance all along. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. You stole it. Because you couldn't come up with something on your own. So to use the exact word again, appropriation of it. But anyway, Tracy is about to lay down and have a baby. Anna, I don't even know what that statement is. I don't care. But if y'all have anything to say.
I do. I understand nothing about rap music. Nothing. The dance moves that young lady did, I will never attempt. I will never get popped. I will never. I know I cannot.
Hurt yourself.
I know I have 2 left feet. I will never be able to dance well. It's okay. I've accepted it. I've accepted that I will never win a Grammy for my singing voice. It's okay. It's okay. Do what do you and be good at it because nobody else can do you. And what about JJ Ice Fish? Now there's a rapper.
Well, he's a singer. Or is he a rapper? Or is he a singer? Whatever he is.
And no, y'all
that's
didn't
musical
name Will
genius.
Smith. Y'all never did name Will Smith, who's not a rapper, by the way. I'm like, dude is not.
He was a rapper.
Will Smith is a rapper.
Will Smith is a legendary rapper.
He's a better actor than rapper. Way better actor. Way.
Oh, he's an infinitely better actor. The dude. That's the thing about Will Smith. Just real quick. You gotta give this guy a lot of credit. He was a rapper who was a mainstay in New York house party rap. Okay, he was the Ludacris before Ludacris. Like he was just he was the clown rapper, right? I could beat Mike Tyson. Parents don't understand. Like he was the fun rapper, but he was legit to his ability. And then he went and started acting and was way better at that. So the guy mastered 2 fields of entertainment.
And that's the funny thing about it here, that when you have somebody who
don't be judging him by Jiggy, because that's
who was a rapper, who was an actor, then you sit there and go, well, which one is greatest? Oh, well, since he's great at this, then he wasn't very good at this. It's not true. Let's just say the dude was talented.
He's a talented actor. I would never take that away from him. Never. But rapper, he ain't gonna be one of the 5 I named.
The equivalent of what you're saying is to say the same thing about LL.
He's okay.
Ain't nothing bad about LL.
I mean,
LL ain't the best actor though.
He not really.
He ain't the best actor.
No, he's better than he used to be. He way better.
Well, you do it for 20 years, you better.
Until you watch all the seasons as NCIS/LA, you realize that LL was a very good actor.
Talking about all the seasons. Watching NCIS is like watching Days of Our Lives. It's not meant to be the top tier acting. Okay, it's the same show over and over.
He's still a better rapper than actor.
Okay,
I'm just saying.
You're literally not going to tell me that somebody who can keep a TV show on compared to a movie, and this would understand this because now it would
Queen Latifah ain't never been out in these here TV streets.
It would go against what he was saying earlier today when nobody was else on. One movie, 14 seasons of a TV series.
That comes on 20 episodes, maybe they do 20.
24, then we're not including
heavy syndication, so it's on 5 channels at any given time.
And we're not including COVID.
Has he won an Emmy for his acting?
I don't judge that as a sign of
I'm asking Marlon, says he won't want to say LL is a good actor. I'm like,
LL is a good actor.
Yeah, whatever. You got your opinion, I got mine.
He's a terrible actor. That's what I'll say.
I mean, he's not
a better rapper.
He's not Eminem actor, no.
Eminem took 1 shot at acting.
They realize, you know what? I'm gonna stay in my lane. I'm gonna stay in my lane. I'm gonna stay right here because this is what I do with.
But hey, Ludacris, when he first started acting, was really bad, and now he's pretty okay.
Decent. I mean, there's two best ones. There's three.
One last name out there.
Yeah, there's
throw this one last name out, and then we'll be done with it. Then Tupac.
Tupac is a
what about Tupac?
Actor. Rest in peace.
Well, on the same subject that we have in Theus. Same acting.
You can't say Tupac was an amazing rapper. He was a conscious rapper, and he was also a mess rapper. Like he was a rapper.
About his acting.
His acting was never very good to me.
Well,
not Jason Slater. He was in Poetic Justice and Juice are the two that I remember that he was in, and I was not impressed with his acting.
There's only three good rapper turned actor: Queen Latifah, Ice Cube, Will Smith, and I'm barely counting Will Smith.
Barely counting.
That's because he's biased. Because Will Smith was the strongest one out of all three of those.
I said three good ones. They like the top tier. They the top tier. Everybody else, I'm like, because Ice-T has been on that Law and Order Visual Anti-Justice or whatever that show is on for like 20 years.
Yeah, but he was never all that good a rapper, but I wasn't into that level, that type of West Coast rap. So I guess that's why. But yeah. The three you named are, I can't.
The three I named, they're at the tops. I'm like, well, you can't get no better than Cube. You can't get.
Well, there you go, Tracy. There's your idea for a new show. Rapper / actor.
No, we've already did that as a discussion. When y'all would actually show up for the after parties, we did that. Best rapper turned actor.
Did we met?
Yeah.
Well, to save me from embarrassment, Theus, tell everybody where they can find you.
Hey, y'all, please come see me at Our United Core on Facebook. That's the best place to see me right now. But on Spotify, you can now catch the first two episodes. Well, the first one episode of the Our United Core podcast.
Anna?
I'm reallyetcetera.com.
Tracy?
Join me this Tuesday as I interview comic Fred Roosevelt. It should be a hilarious show, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, and of course,
I'm assuming you're Legibitqua.
I appreciate Theus, I appreciate Anna, I appreciate Tracy, and until next time, we will see you when we see you. Peace.
Hi, everybody.
You know, we skipped perhaps the greatest unknown rapper, Cornel West. And that Ben Shapiro.